from one end to the other. You know, yeah, we gotta get the Strait of Hormuz open, so that's why we're gonna blockade it. What? And he says, yeah, so that's why we're gonna blockade it. 100% support. What? And then 3 seconds later, and then CNN says, fake yells. So that's why we're gonna blockade 100% support. What? And then 3 seconds later, and then CNN says, fake yells. So that's why we're gonna blockade 100% support. What? Later, and then CNN says, fake yells. So that's why we're gonna blockade 100% support. What? Later, and then CNN says, fake yells. So that's why we're gonna blockade 100% support. What? Later, and then CNN says, fake yells.
Friends of hers, but they are inside the circle in which she speaks and talks politically in Georgia. And the other thing I'd say, Larry remembers this too, that Skunk Works was most famous in my time of knowing about it in a significant way for the F-117 stealth fighter.
Yeah.
And wow, if these drones have any kind of third or fourth or fifth generation stealth mode, I mean, that would be amazing. And the remarks the guy made to you sort of made me think about that. What if they have a drone that is essentially stealthy? Even the F-35 can't detect it. That would be a revolutionary change in drone technology. And it's not something, I don't think, having been associated with the F-117 for a while, I don't think it's something that's totally out of China's capacity to do. And originally they stole most of that from us, or we gave it to them. In fact, I knew a couple of people who were almost indicted at Lockheed Martin because they let too much out of the bag, if you will, in an attempt to make money. And in fact, the Chinese first stealth fighter version looked a lot like the F-117 chapter and verse. But if they've done that, they've taken stealth a generation or two down the road with drones.
Hello?
But if they've done that, they've taken stealth a generation or two
The
down
other
the road
point
with
is
Hello? It's working now.
they've taken stealth a generation or two
the
down
other
the road
point
with
Hello? It's working now.
they've taken stealth a generation
the other point
Hello? It's working now.
35. The cost of this drone
All
is
right,
more than
all right.
2
Let's
times
see.
the
Let's see.
F-35.
Like
What was
this.
that, Larry? What is your understanding of it?
Man, I presume Lockheed Martin got that contract as well. Yeah, you know, so it was great for the shareholders initially. I don't know if Lockheed Martin
Yeah. Testing.
or if it has been brought.
Great for the shareholders initially.
Yeah. Testing. Can hear you also, man.
That was a CIA.
The Beast of Scandal, if I'm not mistaken.
It's working. Nice. Now we can
Yeah,
go.
but I saw that
Now we can
they call
go.
it the Triton.
It's working.
Yes.
Thank God.
This Triton
Yeah.
costs $200
Those guys, they are
million.
working also.
They are
Because they are
also.
working.
Yeah.
Thank God they are working.
So what
And
are
because
we
thank
up
God
to
they are
for today?
I'm working.
Lamborghini's a great,
We'll have to
amazing car.
check on our moose.
You can't really
I
drive
say
it
thank
on
God.
the streets.
Today
It's
is
working.
Moose
Thank God.
Day, Moose and
I
Bison
saw
Day.
one the other day. You can if you're really risky.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Also saw
Me
it.
and Mom.
Aston
So
Martin,
testing,
I think,
checking
was
our
the
moose.
least to happen.
Hello, welcome, leave comment and hit
In
the
Thailand
like.
and Greece.
Incredible.
Greece.
Or the
Yeah.
Bugatti.
Ball.
That's,
Yeah.
For tomorrow,
that's,
for not tomorrow.
yeah, that's like, that costs about the.
Today we are listening to Dialogue Work, Nima,
I've had this discussion
yes,
with
two
my son
guests,
on occasion when they
Larry Johnson
Yes.
and
Yes, for tomorrow. Now visit for tomorrow.
Colonel
Yes.
Colonel Wickerson.
And I've had it a lot with
What
people
you
in
say?
the
They're
Pentagon
talking
who
about
knew
Iran
before
and the Strait of
Osama was dead
Hormuz.
They don't talk about fight.
Why do we
I
feel
know.
play
these
ball
super
now.
Yeah,
expensive
but
things
yes,
like
I know,
Predator
but
and
But you have to come
Reaper
out fight.
and this
Stand
one,
fight
it's
or
when
ball.
we know
yeah,
that
yeah.
if we ever
Now
get into
nonsense
real
fight or
conflict,
ball.
they'll be the first thing
That
shot
one
out
for
of
sure,
the
for
head.
sure.
They like fight. They like war.
And
It's
the
still so
answer
much
is
Ball.
simple. We
yeah.
don't get
Nonsense
into
fight
real
or
conflict.
ball.
We go after third world,
People talk about play. Talk about fight.
third
Fight.
world
Ah,
Because you want
countries,
to
yes,
fight.
and they don't have a
Fight to fight.
capability to do it.
Let that
Well,
guy
in
fight.
What
Somalia, they
else?
showed
I
us a
will
little
we'll
bit of
go
that,
turkey
and
hunting
several
also.
other
We'll go
places too,
turkey
but not
hunting.
very
We need
often. So
we
we
need
let
this.
them rape us, them being
I
Lockheed
need
Martin and Grumman
to
and
get
others that do
to
this sort of thing.
but
And they probably
level
have proprietary maintenance
2100.
contracts
Oh
on them
wait,
too. So, and the other
no
thing we
need.
have now, Nima, which I think
I
I
have
told you about,
level 20,
is
so
we have contracts with Charles de
yeah, I
Gaulle
can
Airport,
buy
with
extra
Heathrow,
backpack.
with airports all over the world now, where we can
I
land and
say
take
I
off
can
with
buy extra
drones.
backpack, and
Only
there is
some of
something
them
else I
have
can
a
buy also.
subcontract that goes along with having
Let's go.
munitions on that civil airport
That means I
and
can
being
have
able to load and
3
unload
guns
munitions.
or 2 guns
But
and
some of them
1
do.
stand
I'm
on
told
my
about a
backpack.
third of them.
Plus
And you can probably
extra
guess who they would be.
Talk about fight.
But we
extra
now have the
colors inside.
capability to fly these drones
But
100 or more
a
civil
bit more
airports.
noisy, but that's
So
okay.
they're virtually global.
That is
They
okay.
don't have to
Shop
worry about, you know,
But their
putting in
backpacks. I
where
have
to get their
8,000.
fuel
This
or
one
whatever.
is 5.
Talk about fight so they can
That
fight.
is an incredible
Why?
achievement in many respects
And
for
because
the
they
drone
are bad boys,
operators,
they talk
but
about
they're
fight.
So how
these
do I
kinds of
activate this
drones.
one?
So you put all that money into that
Now
infrastructure. You go to war with
weapons.
China or Russia or
I
some
can
other
buy
power
this
that has a sophisticated
shotgun, but
capability
there's
to
something
take
else
you
I need
on.
first.
You're going to lose all that very fast because it's not hard to shoot down.
No, 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 no.
As the Houthi showed.
Or
What did they get?
Yeah.
7 Reapers? 7
Rune. Hello, Rune. Oh my god.
Yeah, and
Yes,
when you
table
count up,
tennis.
those were $35 million
Oh my god.
dollars a piece. So think of it.
Where
7
is
Reapers
where
will
where
run
is this?
Franklin in terms of dollars.
Amazing
To
money
go church.
relation.
And that
You know, Larry, when it comes to the drones, even that new
table
version
tennis
of
and
the Shahed
nice.
136, it's called 135, 136. I don't
Very
remember
nice.
exactly the number, but they copied the Shahed version,
Yeah.
but it's not as effective as
Yeah.
Shahed version, Iranian version,
Yes.
and they haven't shown any sort of
Yeah.
upper hand in this war.
Alright, let's
So
go.
are they gonna? Do you think that the United States is
Yeah.
learning something with the case of drone operation,
Yeah.
how the nature of the war has
So,
changed?
okay, I
The
have the
war has
backpack.
changed, and the United States is
I have
fighting
the
the war
backpack.
the way that they
I
were
have
fighting
to.
in the Second World War. They want to
How much
defeat
I can?
Iran. That's
I
not
can
the
change
case
my
anymore.
backpack here.
Well, first of all, let me just say for the record, I'm reluctant to answer your
Noise.
questions
It
because
says
you're not
low.
wearing the appropriate shirt today, but I will
Standard.
make an exception, okay?
Equip.
Look,
Change.
the United States is
Noise.
2 generations
Same
behind
noise.
Russia, Iran, and
Alright,
China when
see?
it comes to drones.
I can
Our
use.
procurement
I can put
system
stand
is
inside
too
here.
slow, too bulky,
Ooh, this is gonna
and
be so nice.
Part of what's holding
Alright,
back is
alright.
some of the
Or
essential
both. I can put both.
parts
Okay,
that are needed to build these drones come out of China,
now I have
and we're doing
space
all
for my.
everything in our power to piss off the Chinese. I mean,
I can put.
it would be tough
What else I
if you
need
went to
here?
Hollywood and pitched
I
this
have
script about how self-destructive the United States is.
Send.
They'll
Move
say,
send.
come on,
I
that's
have all
not
the
believable.
colors. Doc,
You know,
don't need that
it
one.
reminds me of the story. I was friends with a guy
I put here extra.
who he was a scriptwriter in Hollywood, and he's the one that wrote
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, the line, "Go ahead, make my day." Okay,
I go put this.
he went in
This one
he
here.
pitched
I
a
go
story about, hey, it would be like Die Hard, except it's Die Hard with aliens. You know,
Yes.
kidnap the guy, put him in a spaceship, and then
Alright, let's
fight
go
his
back.
way out.
What's the time?
And,
It's 16.
pitching this to this guy in Hollywood. The guy goes, sorry,
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's just not believable.
Let's go up here and check
And
for
Boys
what
Rose
we
Joe
have here.
Simpson, and Joe goes, well, what are you
Before
working on?
we
Oh, we
switch.
got this great story. it's about an earthquake
It's getting dark.
in Los
We'll
Angeles.
go
and
and
how
make,
the world, and it was just,
There is no place
goes,
I need to go.
we go sleep until the morning and then
what
start
I'm
again.
saying here
Because
is
all the place I
the
dey
system
go.
is
All.
structured in such a way that it
I dey
does
go
not
church, I dey go
readily
move.
accept innovation.
Yeah.
I dey go boxing.
It
and
doesn't
ball.
accept out of the
There
box
is no
thinking.
place I need to
It's
go.
very
With
much
me, I need to
I'm-
go.
controlled by
Because
For
all
dinner,
the place I dey
nations
go
of
all.
lobbyists
There's
and in congressional interests who's going to get paid.
All
Who's
what
going to
they
benefit
do,
from this.
I dey go there.
It's
Movie,
not
Huckabee.
part
I
of
dey go
a
movie also.
strategic, of a national
And food.
strategy.
And
You know,
food.
the one thing, if
I
the
dey go.
Department of Defense or City
I go
Manager, okay,
boxing.
we need to
Huckabee
have
and
this
food.
kind of
I go
capability
church.
to
I
do
carry
this
offering.
thing,
200 offering.
and then therefore let's get it done.
There is no
That's
place
how the skunk
I need to
works,
go.
actually.
Because he
No,
given me, I dey
we're
pay.
in something
Ah,
I
that
Baba.
go.
they
I pay.
uh,
I pay. I
get
go.
pitched ideas from the military
And trust.
industrial complex, and then
Mhm.
the Pentagon will go with them, and gee, lo and behold, sometimes
Let's see. Who's
it
there?
involves people making decisions who are also lining up a sinecure, get their next job. You know, they
Who
approve
is
this
here?
project, and lo and behold, they're on the board of that corporation, getting
I
paid.
go boxing.
So,
I pay.
you know, there is that disconnect from reality.
I go
We've
church. I
gone,
carry offering 200.
I was
we've gone from
I
the
go
doing
high
some
priced,
heart management very
Movie.
aggressively.
muscular
I for movie
drugs
also.
with
I was
100
shooting
kroner.
all the males. I don't know
like
if
There is
sumo
no
lifting.
place
if
I need
it
to
is
go because
going
I
to
need to.
scare all the
bulky and
animals.
And
fat,
to pay enter.
Uh,
Sit down.
and
Uh-huh.
1 hour.
nobody
2 hours.
on the U.S. side had really
There is no
saw
place I need to go. I dey
potential
go
of
movie.
these small
I dey
drones
go ball. I dey
what
go
they could
boxing. I
do
dey go church.
Let's
I
see.
how
church.
they
No
would be
place
employed
with
in
me. I
combat.
need to go because
Uh,
I dey go.
and
I
again,
pay
you get
to
a
enter
sense of
and
the
sit down
difference
and go back.
of how far behind the United
Let's see
States
what
is.
we have.
So
You
all
watch
what they do, I
like
dey
the
pay.
Chinese
Yeah.
celebrate
If
Chinese
I go,
New
I
Year,
pay to enter
and
and
they got
sit down.
this incredible,
Movie. I dey
instead
go
of
movie.
Quiet.
fireworks, they got
I dey
these
go church.
So
drones
what
I dey
are
go
they
boxing.
doing now?
three-dimensional images,
I'm boxing.
Five.
very complex
So there
images.
is no place I
Almost
need
It
to
looks
go.
like
five.
works of
I
art
pay.
in the
I
sky
pay.
from drones.
And to enter.
And
So what?
All what
you know,
they
it's
do.
not
Don't
just
tell
one
me.
I
one
dey go.
kid sitting down there with a
I
joint.
If I go movie.
Meanwhile, in
100
the
kroner.
United States,
I
we
go
can't
boxing.
do
What
that.
Western there?
We
I'm
do
boxing.
not
They are
have
I
that
resting.
ability.
All
Yet,
of them
Carry
are
we haven't
resting.
made
200.
it
I
So
go
work.
where
church.
That's
is
why,
my
as I
resting
say,
Because
areas?
there is no place where me.
the
I need to go.
reality of current warfare is
All what
it
they
is
do, I dey
drone
pay. And go.
warfare.
I pay.
And the
Yes,
United
And to
States
enter.
up
isn't
there.
even armed and
And ball
equipped with
also.
the
And
All
ball.
of the resting
in any,
areas
in
is
any
up
fashion
there.
other than build
There is
a
no place I need to go
$250
because I
million
dey go.
So
drone
here are the
that gets
resting
shot down.
areas.
And I guess there
Nowhere
are
near.
11 more of them in the world. That's
Nowhere
it.
near this area. I need to go up that
Nima,
hill.
Nima,
Then
one
I'll
of the
cross over
things
to
Tech Chef
the
did that
moose.
I have
Okay,
to
perfect,
applaud in concept, but
perfect.
not that he's going to be the
Let's
one
go.
implementing the concept.
We
is
can use
T2
this
coming
tower
from
up
the
there
Army.
to call in them.
That was supposed to take care of this in
Press
terms of
hold.
the Army. And the
All
Army
right.
is really looking hard at
Last time I was
making drones
running
a
up
major
to that tower
component
and I
of its
spooked them all
forces now.
off.
So maybe
So
that
this
will
time I'll
change
go
things.
take it
I
easy.
don't have a lot of hope
I
for
go
it.
run
Thanks Seth being
up
there
to
because he doesn't even understand
200
what he's
meter.
done.
I was already
But
200.
he fired the first general in charge of it.
Okay.
Just fired him.
I go church.
New
I
guy
carry
right
offering.
now,
Walk.
I don't know.
200 offering.
But if it's done
Yep.
I go
right,
movie.
then
100
at least the Army is on the
I
right
go
track.
boxing.
But can it get
100
away
kroner.
from
Boxing.
the
Movie
concept,
100,
Larry?
110,
100
100,
That's
100,
who's
100.
really dictating
Movie, yeah.
what people
Movie.
want in
Huh.
the military.
100
It's the
kroner.
contractors who give them what they want.
I go church to 200 offering.
I'm sorry, go
For
ahead.
church for
Yeah.
200
Carl,
offering.
we know that
Yeah.
Donald Trump repeat exit specifically. They're talking with car manufacturers to, to
There is
produce
no place where me.
munitions
How
because
to
they're
walk.
short of munition. One
And
of
to
the
build.
main reasons of putting an end or somehow going after a ceasefire with Iran
Oh,
because
what
they're
Alright.
short of
I dey
cruise
go.
missiles, they're short of
Movie. I dey go
interceptors. They
Let's
want to
100 kroner.
shift it
climb down.
I go
to
boxing.
car manufacturers to
I go church.
force them into
I'm
producing
poor.
these
There
munitions.
is no
Reduce
place
our
I
How do you see
visibility.
that?
Well, they're
Well,
going
all
back
what
to
So
they
when
World
we
War II
I
and
dey go.
what we
when
did
we
with
approach the reef
dollar
I am
men,
for
if you
movie.
will, and the people
I'm
with
who
a
were
low
boxing.
leading the
profile,
I church.
industry
so
at
they
the
will
I'm
time,
not
poor.
we
spook.
No
adapted all
place I
kinds
need
of
to go
production
because I
lines
dey go. I
to
go.
other things. You couldn't play golf unless you already had a golf club.
Let's
Because the
see.
golf club production lines were turned into
Yeah,
other
very
production
quiet.
lines for
Not a
armament.
sound from
And the
them.
same thing happened across the wheel vehicle industry too. Most
Okay.
people don't realize that
If
there
I reach there, I
hardly were
pay.
any vehicles was
movie.
made for the
Hundred
civilian
good.
population.
For movie. I buy something.
I
That's
think what we're looking at, though,
Let's
is
see.
we're looking
Popcorn.
at a day late and a dollar short,
I buy
Uh,
popcorn
and
and something.
particularly the latter, because look
I
at what's
was
happening right now.
Male.
You even had a
160.
Republican
this is
congressman
female.
get up and write
Call.
his
I
House
Press.
popcorn and
Intelligence
something
Committee
160.
Mouse
and say,
button.
what the hell are we
Switch.
doing?
I unbox
Low
it.
This is
fitness
more money
adult
than we spend in
male.
any
And
year
just
of World
200
War
Adult
II.
offering.
What
or
are we
mature.
doing?
And just
Adult
This
or
is far
mature.
too much
Okay.
money. You think maybe $2 trillion now? Roughly, that's what they're asking
Then we
for.
have to
And
wait.
if you put the national security budget together, not just the Defense Department budget, it's $2.75 trillion. That's as much as anything else. It's more than anything else in the federal discretionary budget,
Right?
and it is equaling now
What are
the
Moose
interest
doing
payments
in the
on
morning?
debt and surpassing that even. So what's left? And that's
Moose.
what this Republican was saying.
What
This
are
is
those
going to build,
guys
I think,
doing in the
into
morning?
probably a rejection, ultimately, maybe not of this
Moose.
coming NDAA, but ultimately the one that comes down the road after.
Drinking
Because
up to 1
Trump's not
o'clock.
going to relent. They're going to pack this as
Okay.
much as they can. And why did they put that huge pay raise in
Okay.
there? I think it's the biggest pay raise that the military's ever gotten.
There is
They
no
put it in
Another
there
place.
because
call.
they're trying to buy the military. That's what they're
Everywhere.
trying to do. All of these things
I go
have
ball.
nefarious
Just here.
purposes attached to it.
I go
And
movie.
the nefarious
Also, I did
purposes are not good for the country
And,
in any way,
church.
fashion, or form.
Unboxing.
Aside from the fact that we're broke
I go pay
and we're
8,000
spending
and look.
too much
I
money.
watch
This Republican
1 hour, 2
congressman
hours.
actually used
I-
that phrase.
I said
We're
that
broke,
I'm
damn it.
for movie.
Okay,
That 2
okay,
hours.
okay.
For movie,
Yeah,
2
I mean,
hours. I buy
Trump's not in
popcorn and
office,
something.
you know, a
160.
year
Yeah.
and
For
4
2
months,
hours, I pay. I come out,
3
I
months,
pay.
and he's
No
added
place
$2
I
trillion
didn't
see.
to the debt.
If we can call one in or two.
And church, 200
And
offering.
that amount's going to accelerate, not
But
decelerate.
I
Oh, what
shot
they-
a
and
lot
they
of
go,
them.
no place
That
will
means
be
most
at.
of them are young.
So because
Shouldn't
they
be
also
any
to
adult.
come and meet me also.
Most of them should be young.
If I go board, they come. So me also, I didn't go
So
there.
if nobody is coming and you are calling, it's in fact very good. That means you have done the right herd
Of course,
management.
I
They
do
are
go
all
there
young.
and pay.
So
And to pay to end that pay.
there are
also.
no
You know,
adults.
pay a shit.
Larry Donald
And
Trump
go.
came in with
And
this
go.
sort
You have
of
to
motto
check for
that he's gonna bring everything
Uh,
back to the
Also, I
United
did go.
States.
high
You know,
fitness
he's gonna
mature.
produce
See
more.
if
He's
there's
gonna
any of
go
those.
after China. He's
I
gonna
doubt.
It
produce
was for
more, even
160 and
I
bought
doubt.
electric
and
It's too
vehicles,
early.
and even
160.
somehow
I haven't
compete
played
with
for so
China.
long.
You see
I go
right now
church.
he's
I carry
forcing
off
the
200
car
off
manufacturers to
and
produce
church.
munition instead of
So all what they do,
competing
I
with
did go
China.
and pay.
No, okay.
Because
The
it's
Moose Day
all
was
Because they
drinking.
also
the
come.
policy,
They
the
come board
strategy
also.
of
So
the
even
United
me
States
also,
is
I
all
didn't go
about
there.
Drinking,
offensive.
drinking,
It's not
drinking.
anything
Hello.
defensive. When you go on offensive,
Hello.
you
That
don't
would
have
be
I
that
just not go
much
to
of a
one of them
damage
should
don't go
have
for
been
the
when
there.
it comes. For example, the war against Iran is showing that.
Here's the drinking
You go on
area.
offensive, you have the fragility of your positions.
This
as
one,
we've
I have
seen
no
with the
idea where
US
this one
bases
is
in the
drinking.
GCC
Or
countries.
this one.
And with the China would
God
be the
only
same.
knows.
With
I
Russia,
suppose
the
they are
same.
drinking up here somewhere.
Don't you think
Or
that's
here.
the
I don't
time
think
for
they
the
are
United
drinking
States
in
to
this
get
area.
back to the United States, to the
I think
borders
they
of
are
the
only
United
drinking
States,
at the
and
waters and the
understand
rivers.
how would be the future
So we
if
would
we
have to
want
go.
focus on the U.S. economy.
I don't
Hey,
know how to go this
logistics.
Moose
It's
run.
all about logistics. The Chinese
Should in
understood
fact
from
be
the outset that
taking the
if
Moose
we're going to
run.
become an industrial power,
I
we're
can
going
go
to need to
here
lock
and to
down
the
our
river.
supply chains so that
From
we,
this
if
location
we
to the
want to
river.
produce something, we will have
From
the
this
raw
location
materials
to
necessary
the
to
waters
produce
here.
it. And that's what Donald Trump doesn't understand and is ignoring.
So I don't know which one I have to go first. I will find out.
I
will
agree
find
with
out.
the concept that yes, the United
So let's
States
see.
should re-industrialize.
Low fitness adult
We
mature.
should be in a position where we're not a
None of them.
financialized economy.
Very good,
but
very
we're an
good, very
economy
good.
where people build and produce things.
But I want to
You
check
know, and I
this
said before
flatland up
another,
here.
another podcast.
This
I
this
compare and
area. That means
contrast
I would have to
what
travel
life was
to.
like in the United States when I graduated from high school in
It's faster for me
1973.
to go
And I
from
looked
here
at my classmates, my
than to
friends.
go all the way
You know,
from
my
this.
father was
So
he
if I
was
go
a
here,
maintenance foreman at Armco.
it's too
Steel.
late. It
So
is.
he was involved in the production.
It's already
of steel.
almost dark.
One
So
of my
it's.
other friends,
I think
his
it's
father
too late.
was a
I don't think I
foreman
can
at
manage.
Standard Oil.
If I rush, if I
Again,
run,
there was an oil refinery in
if I run
Sugar Creek,
across,
Missouri.
I can
Another
climb up
worked at
here.
Alice Chalmers, which manufactured
before
equipment. My mother's father
it's
was a
dark.
foreman on the line at General Motors.
I could do that.
We had a couple of automobiles.
Yeah. I hear. Ooh.
And so
Ooh.
very few. In fact,
You are very thirsty now. I
don't
know.
even recall.
Okay.
I don't recall any of my
Let's go.
friends having a father who was like a lawyer,
Yeah, I hear
or
you.
an insurance agent, or selling some, or a financial.
All of them up
anybody
here.
doing finance. We built that. You go back when I went back for my 50th high school reunion, or 40th.
Maybe they're frozen.
All of a sudden,
It's early access.
At the 50th, all of those are gone.
Could have been frozen.
Those
I don't
are
know.
gone.
They ran off.
There's no steel plant. There's
They
no
all ran off.
automobile plant. There's no farm equipment.
That's okay.
And so, what do kids graduating from high school have a chance to
No
look
big
forward
deal.
to doing? Hey,
No big deal.
would you like to supersize that burger order? So it is.
What is
kind of
Larry
job
Johnson
that
saying?
you develop
Burger?
and
Hormuz straight burger?
That's gone, and you don't recapture that. And one of the problems we now face is in trying to recapture that. We
Recapture.
don't control the supply chain.
No, you
China
don't.
has locked those up.
Yes, they
We're
have.
seeing that particularly when it comes to rare earth metals.
Because you are behaving like
Vehicles, great.
I
You're
don't
going
know.
to need magnets, and who's
Like
got
you
that
have
market locked
no
down?
sense.
China. And so, what's our strategy? Let's see how bad we can
Only
piss off
thinking
China.
about
Brilliant strategy.
war, committing war crimes,
Carl, let me
bombing
zoom out a
everything
little
up
bit
and down.
from comparing what has happened so far with the war in Iran, what was the situation before this war started.
They are
We had the
they
ceasefire
are
between Lebanon and Israel in
possessed by a demon,
2024, which wasn't a ceasefire somehow.
a spirit of
Israel
jingoism,
was attacking them.
Not a
And-
day did Israel honor it.
something
Not a
very
day.
bad. Jingoism. All they think about
And
this
right now we're getting, in my opinion, with this new ceasefire, we're getting to
war.
that
They think they
particular
can
point we had
rule the
before
world.
this war started, before the war between Iran
I
and the
don't
United
care
States
about other
started.
people, their
In the
needs,
case of Lebanon,
and
with the
making
case of
money
the Iran,
business.
you see what
Only
has
they think
happened
about
before the war starting. Iran didn't interfere in the Strait of
ruling
Hormuz. Iran
and
didn't want to
dominating.
do anything to do. Iran hasn't, that
That's
much
true.
influence the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, they're controlling the Strait of Hormuz. As Reuters
How far?
reported
How
that
far?
the Indian oil refineries are paying
That is
Iranian oil
200 meter.
using Chinese yuan. This is the big
200.
change what has happened as an outcome so far of the war between Iran
200
and the United
meter.
States. On the other hand, all
They
the
can hear me
bases
when I
were destroyed.
100 meter.
Most of them, radars were destroyed, not only in the Middle, not only in GCC
I'm
countries,
still
but
good.
also in Israel as well. In Israel is somehow
I'm still
naked
good.
as we
Okay.
talk.
Now
So
we
Donald
have
Trump
to
is trying to put out something
start
that
to.
is a big victory so far for him, which is only
Where is
after
the
it's over. Even with this
path?
reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, he was talking
Bigger,
about
yeah.
it. Many people are arguing, in the last,
Okay.
in these 2 weeks
Time
of
to
ceasefire, the
time
United
to
States
slow
has sent
down.
more than 75
5,
U.S.
4,
logistic
3,
flights
2, 1.
to the region, sending assets, even sending
Okay.
weapons to the region, preparing for something, at least from what we've seen,
Let
sending
me see.
10,000 soldiers to the region.
Let me see. Let me see.
So the ball is on Trump's court right now.
Let me
If he
see.
starts
Let me
the
see.
war, he's gonna
Trump
get
cannot play
hit
ball.
when it comes to the global economy because Iran reopened the Strait of Hormuz.
Restart the war.
Yeah, restart.
Restart the war.
Exactly. This is the situation. It's over for Donald Trump. Isn't that the case?
Good lecture,
Yes.
Neiman. Well, just keep on. Let me tell you something. I think we have,
Okay.
what was it Yamamoto said?
I know they are here somewhere.
Awaken the
I know they are
Awaken the
here.
giant and killed it with a fearful resolve. And this was to be seen ahead of time. Well,
No, of Superchurch.
January 26th,
Wrong one.
in the synagogue in New York, Temple Mount in Jerusalem. I gave a talk they asked me to give, and I entitled it New World of Mourning,
Left or right?
Chaos or Condominium. We have opted for chaos, and that's our strategy. Our strategy to confront
Drinking here.
the enormous shift of power from west to east was not to accommodate
But now
my
it
president
is
as full-serve
resting
the
time.
nation he did, George W. Bush.
I haven't picked up
My
any
president
resting
understood China and understood what it
zone.
was all about
Okay, we'll go this
in
way.
terms, not intellectually, but in economic terms.
I haven't
what it
picked
was
up
all
any
about
resting zone here.
in terms of accommodation or challenge, and decided for the accommodation, which is why he left Cheney and Rumsfeld spinning their tops and wheels and gave that account to Powell.
And there's
He expressed it
one detail
to
here.
Powell. I understand
If
the
you press the
importance
animal,
of
you can
Walmart
see.
to him, and he meant that.
Wait,
He meant that without China,
now it says
Walmart would be
vulnerable.
and he understood
The
that
herd
Joe
is
Biden
vulnerable.
wanted to
That
economy,
means
and he wanted to do something
you have to
about
do
it.
herd management.
Trump, who declared MAGA,
That
and
means
never had any
almost all of the
inclination to
animals,
recreate
the
it
male
on
animals,
the
they are low
that Larry just
fitness,
described.
both
He had
young
no
and
intent
old.
to do that. He had every intent, I think, or
That
he
means
was
you have
wanting
to shoot down
to
all the
challenge,
old,
not
at
to
least
accommodate
the old
this huge
low
shift in
fitness.
power. And that's what we're trying to do.
And then younger will spawn the next day after 24 hours in
because we
game.
are challenging it so
And the one that are
all
spawning,
of,
they are
and we're not even talking about
greater
challenge.
fitness.
They're in the Arctic right
So
now.
if you
We're
shoot
trying to
one
start a war
old,
with Russia, essentially in
30%
the Arctic,
fitness, a
because
new
of
one
its
is going to
allowing
spawn.
China to have
That
access
is
to
like
that long coastline
maybe
that Russia
60.
has. They're going to establish condominium on the
And
new
then you
Arctic.
do one more
We're having
time.
it in the Baltic. We're having it at Kaliningrad.
You
We're having it in
do
Ukraine, very visible.
about
And we're
3,
having
4
it
herd
in the
managements
Caucasus.
like
And
that.
now we're
Then
in
you're going
Southwest
to have
Asia. We're contesting China on all these actions.
animals
It's all
high
about
fitness
China and
with
to a certain extent Russia. That's coming with
good
it. And we're
good
doing it badly.
the
We're going to
trophies,
kill ourselves at least a decade or two early.
the horns,
And we're going to kill
antlers.
ourselves rather
They're
than
going to be very
accommodating this
big
power.
and very beautiful.
You could accommodate it. You could
And
establish
when
a
you
condominium,
shoot
as
one
I'm
of
suggesting,
those,
that would
you get
be
extra
exercised on cooperation, strategic
extra
cooperation, economically
experience,
and otherwise. You could share
and
our
you get
share
your
our cattle.
bragging
We could share
rights.
with
You can
all the things that you need.
mount them
Instead
in
of
the
going to
cabin.
Southern California and trying to rape that lake, that rain-created lake in
I'm
California.
surprised I
because
cannot
the
find
liquid
them
on the
here.
bottom of it.
I know
But
they
we're
are
not doing
here
that.
somewhere.
We have decided to oppose
I'm
dramatically
surprised.
with inept
So quiet.
leadership at the same time. This shift
Right.
in power, we're going to lose. And Iran is just the most vivid chapter in that right
Walk
now.
around
And
here.
it will resume. And we'll go on to phase 2 and phase 3, and we'll be gone and out of the region, and
Let's see,
Iran
let's see.
will be, as Haaretz said, not defeated and therefore win.
Larry, are we heading toward escalation, or are we heading toward, as they're trying to picture for us,
I
some
know they
sort
are
of
here somewhere.
mutual understanding? You mentioned that we know that in 2 days, it seems that they're gonna put the sanctions on Russia.
No
and
zones.
because
Where are all the zones?
the sanctions are back
Where are
on
my
Iranian oil
zones?
and Russian oil. That's what Scott Bessent said. And how about the military operation? Are we going to see some sort of escalation? Because as I mentioned, they have sent a lot of weapons
Yeah.
to the region in these 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we are going
Where
to
are my
have
zones?
the plan is to
My
launch
animals, where are you?
a very intense strike, missile, bomb strike, JDAMs, TLAMs, against Iran.
Am I walking past
You know,
all the zones?
again, I was
Are the zones up here?
schizophrenic mood yesterday watching what was
I
taking
don't
place.
think so.
Because here was when they announced the ceasefire between Lebanon and
Yeah,
Israel.
make me go back and
10
double
days.
check.
So that takes us to April 26th. And then later in the day confirmed that it applies to Hezbollah. So on the one hand,
Yeah,
you
make
got
me
the
go back
Trump
and double check.
administration moving to stop the fight, which is good. And give them full
No
credit.
zones here. We'll continue.
And then as we talked about earlier, here's Bessent and the Trump administration. One, trying to
We'll
strengthen the
continue.
blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which is completely ineffective because we don't have enough ships to actually do it.
We'll
And on top of
continue.
that, doubling down the sanctions on Russia,
I'm surprised
sanctions
they are
on
all gone.
Iran, and sanctions on
What's
China.
this? Is there
Those are confrontational moves.
is there a
Doing
bug
that doesn't give you
in the
greater
game
leverage over
with
the
the herd?
countries at all. And so
If you
then you
shoot
got to look at
herd, they
is
all disappear.
think of it like a car. Are you pressing on the accelerator, or are you pressing on the brake, or are you putting the car in reverse? And what we're seeing is, with respect to the flow of personnel and supplies to military forces, U.S. military forces in the region, they're pressing the accelerator. Now, that said, there's still some significant problems on the U.S. side. I don't know if you've seen the images circulating. There are some unhappy Marines on the side of the Boxer of Tripoli, one of those LHDs or LHAs, those like miniature aircraft carriers. They're being given, let's put it this way, food in a high school cafeteria is better than what they're getting. Prison food is better than what they're getting. And it's in limited quantity. So, you know, you've got a bunch of hungry, these Marines are 18, 19,
I'm
20,
surprised, to be
21
honest.
years old. You got a bunch of hungry young guys that aren't getting fed properly. They tend to get a bit grumpy. So, I fully expect that by next week we'll be back in a serious hot war with Iran. I hope I'm wrong. But
What I was looking
don't
for.
see, unless the Trump administration reverses these sanctions
Perfect.
and said, okay, sorry, we weren't thinking clearly, we got to stop this. It's inevitable.
Come on. I cannot put it down. Yes.
Let me drop a comment in there, Nima, about
Go ahead.
sanctions. We just had our conference out in Columbus, Ohio, at the Eisenhower Media Network, and we had some pretty good people there.
Perfect.
One of the things
Perfect.
that I think we became apprised of that I was not totally shocked about, but I guess I was shocked to a degree. Since 2000, very analytical study done on this. Since 2000, we have 38 million people.
Oh my God. There's 4 of them.
That's Mao Zedong.
Perfect,
The Cultural
perfect,
Revolution.
perfect.
That's Joseph Stalin and the purges. That's Hitler. Not the whole war, 100 million,
Fantastic.
but Hitler directly. That's what we've
Fantastic.
done, 38 million deaths. And about 60% of
I
those
like
deaths
this.
are children and women. 500,000 in Iraq alone, when we had this serious sanctions on Saddam Hussein. The
Good
sanctions
call.
that, when Madeleine Albright was questioned about it, said, well, that's all right, we got rid of it. That's the price we had to pay, we got rid of it. 38 million people. We have over 2 billion people under these sanctions. Is there any wonder that Xi Jinping has finally done what he's done and said, we are going to replace the American financial system with the Chinese one? And you all are welcome to join, because we will be emphasizing development, not punishment.
Yeah.
So that's a serious thing that Scott Bessent just amplified for 2/3 of the world, who literally hate our guts for what we do with these things. This is a weapon that we should never have begun to use. It's an international crime.
I'm going to
actually
shoot one of the others.
Peculiar here. It says if you put a blockade on Cuba for 50 years, Cuba doesn't have the ability to militarily effectively respond to you. So it's not looked at.
Okay.
But if a country
I want to shoot
has
this
the
one.
military capability to respond
Mark
to you,
him like this.
then it kicks in. It's an act of war. These
I can find the blood
sanctions are
trail.
an act of war. China
This
and
one
Russia
is
have
marked,
every
so
right
he will
to
run,
invade
and
our
I can
assets
easily
and attack
pick him,
us.
find him again.
They won't do that, of course, because they're too smart to do that. They'll take us
That
out
is my plan.
otherwise, which they're doing quite adequately. Thank you very much.
Stand still, my
But
friend.
that's what Scott Bessent is doing, just like P.D. Hegseth, Secretary of
Stand
War.
still.
Bessent ought to call himself Secretary of Treasury, Adjunct to the War. That's what we're doing.
Yes, I
And
got that
this
one.
is not going to be tolerated
I can follow this one.
by about 6 billion people
I know where he's
who have
going.
alternatives now. Did you see where China offered
Perfect.
Manila oil? And Manila said, let's talk. Our
Perfect.
signatory treaty ally is going to talk to China about getting oil. It's
Perfect.
falling apart. It's falling apart.
All right.
Larry, looking at the Israeli media, they're talking about Gaza was yesterday. Today is Iran and Lebanon, and tomorrow is Turkey. And it seems,
Yeah, sorry. I apologize.
yeah.
That was perfect.
Here is what Tom Brock said about
I need the zone. I need to find the zone here. He was running this
How
direction.
does it go? So Israel aligned
He
with
went.
Turkey, like Israel aligned with Abu Dhabi, like Saudi Arabia.
So he's
should be
probably
aligned
here somewhere.
with Israel. And for the prosperity of the Israeli
What?
people, to me, that's the answer. So I think this rhetoric is going to go away.
Well, my
Turkey
friend,
is not,
here.
is not a country to be messed with.
the guy has some sort of
Yes.
fantasy, in my opinion, when it comes to
3
Israel.
years
Nobody
only.
in Israel
28,
cares about
okay.
what Tom Brock is talking about, what
Alright,
people in the
alright.
United States are talking about. They have their
Where's
own
the
agenda,
zone?
and they're not gonna bend. You know, they're not
We're
gonna
supposed to have a
get
resting zone here.
influences from the United States or other places. That's the reality of the policymakers in Israel.
It's supposed to be a resting
Do you
zone.
see, you know, the Trump administration being capable of forcing them into something?
Well, no, but that
Eating.
last line, what Barack said
Eating
about
zone.
not messing, it'd be foolish
Okay.
to mess with Turkey. Yeah,
Is that the consequence of the war between Iran and
yeah. Well, we had a technical term for that at the CIA. It was called no shit analysis. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
I know. Let's see.
I mean, but this gives you insight into the Zionist mentality,
Down
how
here, so-
divorced from reality they are.
Alright,
But they revealed that what they're really after. They need to destroy Iran, and then next they need to destroy Turkey. And they're not just, this is not some idle conversation. I've been taking sort of a
Footprints.
backward look at the 1980s because
Yeah.
everything, what we're experiencing, what we're dealing with today
It's
is
so easy
really
to
the
see, but-
seeds of all that were sown in the
Okay,
1980s.
slow down.
And the contradictions in U.S. policy and Israeli policy at the time. And what I mean by that is from with the start of Saddam's war against Iran, with our encouragement, and I'm convinced there was a
It's
CIA
getting
finding
dark.
back then
It's getting
that
dark.
authorized this to encourage Saddam to do the attack. And then when Ronald Reagan comes in, we are supplying.
You can see the
Iraq
grass.
with the
Grass
precursor
has been
chemicals to
moved.
make the chemical weapons. We're supplying him with
So
intelligence
if
on
you
where
follow
to use
this
those weapons.
grass,
We're actually supplying
you
financial
are
aid
also
and other things. And we
following
do
the
that for 8 years,
animal.
up through the end of 1988. I mean, Saddam is our proxy. And it's during that time that
Down here
Israel
somewhere.
invades southern Lebanon and to take out the PLO. That was
Now they
important.
run.
They forced the PLO out.
They run away
And
and
initially
then
there were some
they will turn.
Shia villagers that
They
celebrated
turn back.
the Israelis getting rid of the PLO because the PLO had been,
It's
treating
here
the Shia
somewhere.
pretty shabbily. But then all of a
That's for
sudden the
sure.
Shia turned, and then 82, you get Hezbollah comes up to start defending, fighting against Israel. And in the midst of this, we get into Iran-Contra. So here is the United States backing Iraq in this war, and then all of a sudden,
Covered by the trees.
We want to support.
So
we want to
lucky.
stop the spread of the Soviets, so we start selling arms to Iran. So we're selling to the Iranians. We're backing the Iraqis. Let them fight. We don't
And-
care. As long
and the
as-
Israelis
It's
are ripping
getting
us
dark.
off.
yeah, and here's Israel dealing
I won't be
with
able.
Iran because they're so fearful of Iraq.
Oh, what
So,
now? Oh,
my point in this is
lag.
there's not some high principle that everybody's abiding by. Like, oh, we're fighting against terrorism. This war right now against Iran is
Can you hear them? Where are you?
it's saddled on the U.S. side with so many false assumptions and lies about the nature of Iran. And we have now picked a fight that we can't win. And the United States is going to lose this conflict. And then the cascading effects of that is everybody, you know, most of the world was looking at us like we were Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali in their prime. Can't be defeated. Now all of a sudden we're getting knocked on our ass. And they're going, whoa, wait a second. I've put my trust in this person, this country, to keep us secure, and the only thing they can do is threaten us. It's the Wizard of Oz moment. You know, that moment at the end of the movie Wizard of Oz where Toto the dog pulls back the curtain, and instead of the great and powerful Oz, there's this little old guy who's an itinerant preacher running the machine
It's
behind the
getting
curtain,
dark.
and you realize he's
Let me just read the breaking news right now from Reuters. It says that the United States has also agreed to release billions of dollars in frozen Iranian funds as part of the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And this is the other dimension of what has happened so far. Let's see what would happen.
So, I mean, again, look at the chaos here. They're releasing funds, but
While
they're imposing sanctions. I mean, what the hell's going on?
Left hand, do you know what the right hand is doing?
It's so, I think what the GCC countries are somehow in hell right now. So they're just
This is so difficult. You have to
what's going on. You're
circle around.
understanding of
And when
it.
you're circling around, you're
As
making noise.
we were talking about this sort of chaos happening with
That
Iran
means
and the United States.
you risk spooking them
Yeah,
off
you-
when
I think they've lost all confidence in
And-
what was the Gulf Cooperation Council. Which
To
I
be
don't have
honest.
confidence in either, but certainly in the United States, and I think they're going to be really harsh trying to find new partners, trying to determine whom they're going to ally with and what they're going to ally with in the region and externally.
I see
to the
him.
region. Don't see them flying off suddenly to Russia or to China, but I do see the influence there increasing greatly. And I see that everywhere. Look at that port in your South America, in Peru, on the Pacific coast. I mean, I keep getting reports about how stunning it is from our own diplomats down there, as well as from people I know in Lima.
No, don't run so far.
Probably the best port ever built
Oh,
in the
son
world
of a gun.
is one of them's words in Spanish. And I don't doubt for a second that South America would rather
hit.
deal with China, at least
I was
the way China's dealing
too
now,
high. I was
than
shooting
they
too
would
high.
with the United States, and it's probably an order of magnitude rather. So we're losing. We're losing all over the globe.
Oh, yeah.
And we're scrambling around like we don't know what to do about it.
Boy, yeah.
And we aren't making America.
Let's go. Find me the blood.
Larry, isn't that amazing that in the talks, everything we've seen so far, there is no mention of Kuwait. It seems that Kuwait is somehow disappearing from GCC countries.
Find me the blood.
It's going to be a new addition to Iraq.
All right.
We're expanding its territory.
Let's go.
Well, and I've got a question for Colonel Wilkerson, because he was there at the time. When you realize that, we're fully backing Iraq in this war against Iran up through 1988. And then Saddam goes to April Glaspie and goes, those damn Kuwaitis are stealing our oil. And, we're gonna take action against them. And then all of
I
a
was
sudden,
too
the United
fast.
States
I
goes
should have
and
marked him
used
first.
Iraq as a proxy.
Oh my God.
And then all of a sudden, we declared an enemy. I mean, was there anybody in the policy-making position at the time that ever said, "Oh, wait a second,
No chance. We are not going to find him.
Way here with Iraq."
That was a pretty intense debate, and one
Oh my
had
God.
to give George H.W. Bush his due. 8 years is Ronald Reagan's vice president, and as you probably know, managed all the trouble and managed the agency in terms of the presidency.
No more blood.
And became very dear to the agency. After all, they named Langley after him.
Yeah.
And he was only director for 9 months. So everything that happened with Ronald Reagan.
Oh my god, I was so bad luck.
This exchange with Iraq and Iran. And I just take one exception.
Jesus
to what you
Christ.
said before. It was omission, I think, not a
Jesus Christ.
reality. I
There's
think
no
we
chance.
maintained both sides throughout the conflict. We shifted weight, certainly, but I remember a conversation.
I will not be able to find, and I don't think I can call him back. These are the woods. I won't be able to spot him. There's no chance.
That's what we want. We want both. We didn't want to
Can't
disturb
see
the
anything.
power, but the way we didn't want to disturb it was to destroy both. And
I cannot
if
see
they did to
anything.
one another, that was fine. So
So,
Sin shot down the Airbus and killed all those civilians.
let's see.
Khomeini said, "Well, I'll accept the UN script."
This one, he's drinking here. So in the morning, two.
Because we wanted to destroy both sides, so there wouldn't be
Okay, if I go down here, change the time, midnight, I'll be able to spot him with night vision. I can do that. I can do that. It's just what? 150 meters.
He couldn't. That proved that the United States had taken Iraq's side, and therefore
150 is here, but I cannot see him in this light. No chance.
It didn't work. I take your point about the 80s, and I put a lot of this on the Big Virginia.
Okay.
A hell of a lot of it.
Grizzly bear, nice. I love grizzly bear.
I think it started there too, and I think we have now.
Okay, we'll equip night vision.
Very, very bad foreign policy, of which I have to admit, I am not.
Night vision. We'll try again.
Clear on. I remember Powell coming back and saying we're going to have sanctions. This is after the premier National Security Council meeting. We're going to have sanctions. He even picked up the phone and called Sam Nunn, and Sam Nunn started a move in the Congress that cost him the presidency should have wanted to run, and ultimately diminished his standing in the Congress considerably to the point on the second reconfirmation hearing of Powell, he actually wanted to hurt Powell in that hearing. Didn't come off, but he actually wanted, because he thought Powell had lied to him. He thought he was book commanders. A lot of lies in that too. But Bob doesn't tell lies. He reports what people actually say, and people often lie to him. So the lies go in the book. So what you're looking at there is Powell thinking that Skokov and Bush and the whole gang had made this decision that sanctions were going to be put up. Sanctions were going to be put on Iraq, but there was not going to be a war. And then all of a sudden, we're in his office, and I think we had Al Gray in there, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and maybe one other service chief in there. And all of a sudden, Powell goes, "Turn it up." Hits the remote. And here's Bush saying, "This invasion shall not stand."
Well, no.
And Powell looked at everybody and said, "I think I just got different orders."
Right.
Unfortunately, he didn't pick it up and call him money and tell him, back off, back off, back off. And under him, maybe not hate him, didn't like it. But no one knows exactly why he changed his mind, except Skokov was the only one with him, and Brent's initial impression was that we had to have some kind of dramatic operation that proved, for example, that the UN, once issuing a resolution that called for correction by armed might, would be strengthened in such a way that the New World Order would have an arbiter and that arbiter would be more or less under your thumb tonight.
It's calling me here.
That's all. That's the only thing I could figure. Because Brent, I
meters.
think, was one of the most strategic-minded and smart thinking person I've ever met.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So
I'll go 200 meters.
But I can't explain exactly what I did.
But, you know, and the other sort of take this offline a little bit, but the other thing I look back on now, which is actually shocking, is when in 2003, as we were building up to invade Iraq, all over the weapons of mass destruction, not a single person who knew could have come forward and said, well, wait a second, these weapons of mass destruction, these chemical weapons we're looking for, we're the goddamn people that gave it to them. We gave it to them. We're the ones who are responsible.
Rumsfeld was the emissary.
Yes. I mean, it's, you know, I didn't understand that back then. I now understand that. What? I mean, this is one of the biggest scams pulled on the American people in its history.
History is repeating itself.
Oh, I used to tell myself when I was in dark moments that Eisenhower pulled off the 53 overthrow most of that. So Bush could get his failed operation.
Yeah.
That was under the influence of the British, though, who he had become truly in love with, including actually in love with him. And when he was approached, I think he was told the British Exchequer, which was getting from the Iranian oil company about 40 billion dollars a year directly into the exchequer, and he was convinced that by Churchill and others that if that didn't continue to flow, at least for another decade, Britain was toast. And that's what really did it. Okay, I'll do it. Or I'll authorize it. And another person told me, Andy Goodpaster later, when he was in his dotage, but he was still pretty sharp. He said that Eisenhower looked at originally the CIA chief, I think it was Dulles at that time, he looked at him and he said, don't tell me, just do it. That was it. Anyway, I got to run. I got another.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great pleasure as always.
All right. Work on that shirt, dude.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay. See you Monday.
Professor. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Where are the other guys? Mine was, it was old, it was 8 or 10. Where are those guys? Those are the dudes I'm looking for. Those are the guys I'm looking for. The older ones. There's one or two. How many are there? There's only one. The other ones. Where are the other ones? All right. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Those are the ones I'm looking for. Alright, alright, alright. This one, he's going to be walking up and down here for a while. So I'm just waiting for these guys to come down. I'm waiting for them to come down. What? Turkey. That's the next project. Turkey. I want to shoot the one I hit before. I got him 3 times.
How many times?
3 times. I shoot it. It's still running.
3 times he passed. They said now pass a year. That he has passed a year. This is 3 times. He reached for past a year. Now 2 days a week. That now 2 days in a week. A year passed. 2 days a week. He said now 3 times because he passed.
It's coming very close.
Which guy 3 times because he passed.
This time.
And because something real. It's not joke, real.
But early access.
You have to go to church, I swear.
They won't come
but demon,
closer than
demon
50, 60 meters. And it's too far if you want to shoot them with a bow. So that is early access.
He said, you don't pay the money on the Yasu pay us in that one.
Huh?
For how many years?
Scott Ritter, I love this video. Now we are going to Danny Hyphon. Scott Ritter.
Even if these
we are 15 minutes late, but that's okay.
Israel is Israel, and it's
but that not 2 days in the week. I said that demon, because that demon. What do you mean that demon?
At the same time, Iran.
That not 2 days.
So where are the other guys? Are they coming closer?
They'll make it a lot harder. Then the U.S. will look very foolish to then reverse all of this. Just because Iran is going to continue to support these crimes. So it's
where are they?
Politically, it is a very interesting moment, and geopolitically, because it signals that, as you said, Iran holds the
They're not coming closer.
They kind of exist in perpetuity, and it will affect the future.
Why?
If it continues to want to conduct regime change against Iran, or try to.
What's the time now?
Israel, all of this moment.
Okay, still 1 hour drinking.
There's a foundation here that's very interesting. Your comments on this? I've been thinking about this for a few days.
Yeah, let me jump in on this one because
he said that 3 times he passed. Because it's not 3 times he passed. That 2 days
understand that the game changes once you de-emphasize the military and you re-emphasize or you start emphasizing.
And because Nadim, he said that not 3 times.
Iran doesn't get to hold
3 times because he passed. He passed.
Go play,
that 2 days a week.
International.
2 days a week. Now pass a year, but 2 days in a week.
I don't want that.
And when they do that, now Iran becomes part of the.
Because Nadim.
And that's a whole different game where different stresses can be brought to play, different restrictions, etc. And so, what happens when Iran joins BRICS? Now Iran becomes a hostage to Indian-Chinese animosity. They're in the middle of that now. They've got to play that.
So
You see, the world doesn't become, totally simple for Iran. It becomes far more complicated. When Iran now has to operate, in accordance with the rule books.
And drugs.
In accordance with the rules of fair competition. Iran has been playing the sanctions violation game for decades.
And because he's drunk.
They're used to, floating
She
ships
become
out in the
drunk.
open sea, waiting for markets to open up.
And to fuck also. And fuck.
So frustrated.
They're going
Because
to
she
be
become
part
drunk.
of the free and open economy, and they're
Because
going to compete.
not drunk.
To
To become
I think
drunk.
it's going to be great for Iran, but the idea that Iran emerges from this retaining this superiority that it's gained
That
through this victory,
like 2 days.
that's not the case at
a
all,
week.
because Iran will have to learn how to live
This
in
is
peace
so
and harmony with its
frustrating.
regional neighbors.
Now 2 days
It's not
a
gonna be
week.
able to
Now
sit
pass
in
a
permanent
year
state of
for 2
conflict,
days a week
tension and
to
hostility.
drink. Drink
And
and
now
fuck
we come
and
down to the
fuck
Strait of Hormuz.
2 days a
You know,
week.
this is going to be fascinating to see how this plays out.
That pass a
You know,
year.
I think that Iran has
But
earned
he
the
has
right
passed a year.
to say
He have
that
been doing.
they, in a period of
He have
time,
been doing.
for security guarantees,
Why
will
are
concede
they not coming down?
control over the Strait of Hormuz
And
as
because
a way
my
of
people,
leveraging
my
everybody to
people.
make sure
Wind
that everybody
direction.
abides by their agreements.
Okay.
But Iran wants to join the family of nations, which means Iran wants to comply with the rule book, which is the United Nations Charter and the foundation of international law that's derived therefrom. And one of that is the law of the sea. The Strait of Hormuz is an international waterway, openly recognized as such. And for Iran suddenly unilaterally to
Where
declare that
are
it's not
they?
that belongs to them puts Iran smack dab in violation of international law, where
Oh
Iran
my
doesn't
God.
want to be. So I do think there's
I'm
going
so
to be
frustrated.
some sort of compromise. You know, however they work this out, I don't know, but I could imagine
I'm so
a
frustrated.
10 to 15-year treaty with Iran, the United States, and the Gulf War
What?
states, which creates, Iran has, control,
5
control,
years.
but others are involved too. That money will be collected and distributed for reconstruction purposes for a
That
period
is
of
not
time.
mine.
But like any toll booth, it's linked to the construction of
because
a
that
highway.
people.
I'm thinking of the New
Then
York
that
State
2
Thruway.
days.
Where are they?
Once you pay it off, you're supposed to stop collecting tolls. Of course, New York State will never do that because they always want the money. But the point is, at some point in time, Iran will have to
Oh my
relinquish control
God.
of the Strait of Hormuz back to the international community. That's just a requirement of international law, and Iran
This
is
is
a
so
nation that needs to
frustrating.
comply. So I think there's going to be some compromise there. Everybody's saying Iran's going to control this forever. No, they're not.
This is so frustrating.
It's impossible for Iran to control it forever. That would create a huge problem for Kuwait, Iraq, the
Can't
UAE,
believe this.
Saudi Arabia,
Come
Bahrain.
back here.
Qatar. None of them are going to allow that to happen. The United States won't allow that to happen because that means that Iran now controls the throttle for the economy. It's unacceptable. But Iran earned the right to be able to have that control of the throttle for the near term as a security guarantee, given the fact that the United States and Israel have
This
shown
is so frustrating.
no ability to tell the truth, to negotiate in good faith, to act with perfidy in mind. I do think Iran is in a good position to create some sort of treaty-based arrangement that gives them control for security purposes, but that it gets relinquished down the road. It has to, in order for Iran to, conform with international law. I always love that people say, how can you mention international law? Hey, you know what? The guys that say that you don't know anything about how the world works. I'm sorry. I know the United States violates international law on a daily basis.
I
The
will
United States
follow.
also
He's
complies with
joining the other
international law
ones.
on a daily basis. The entire freaking world works on the basis of international law on a daily basis. You have no freaking clue what you're talking about. Yes, there are violations of it, but what do you think makes all this shit work? When you get on an airplane and fly overseas, what do you think makes that work? What do you think makes banking transactions work? What do you think makes anything work? It's called international law. We don't live in a total wild, wild west zone yet just because the United States is a rogue actor on certain factors of it. The rest of the world complies with it. That's the reality. So all you guys out there talking about you don't know what you're talking about, so shut the fuck up. Because you're really oversimplifying a very complex legal argument. The world functions on the basis of legal arrangements that are derived from international law linked to the United Nations Charter and other international agreements. That's the way
There
the
is
world
not happy.
works. And if you don't get it, then shut up. Stop talking about things you don't know about. When I talk about international law, it's because I know international law. I've been involved in it. I've helped implement it. I know where it's violated and I know where it works. It's there. It exists. It hasn't gone away. So knock it off.
Yeah. Well, on the question of the Strait of Hormuz and its status, I think there are two contesting ideas. I think you have Iran and Oman. They've said that it is majorly a part of their territorial waters. A lot of the world views it as international waters because of how important it is for global trade. And I could definitely see, Scott, given that this is the framework they're working on, and you brought up the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Well, most nations except for the United States have signed on to that. So I could definitely see a scenario where in the future, as things develop and there is security guarantees involved, I could see Iran actually even reaching out to the rest of the region, even those that were hostile to Iran, as the U.S. was using.
So it's going to the resting
Launching pads, but I could see them
resting
reaching out and saying,
area.
how do we govern this together?
I have no
And
chance.
that gives
I
Iran
cannot.
a whole lot of leverage too, because it gives Iran
I have
and
no
Oman to be a
chance.
part of this a lot of leeway in how it looks in front of the entire international community, and also brings a really interesting solution to
I have no chance.
preventing maybe outside aggression from dictating what happens here. It would be really interesting, I think.
It's going to be a treaty. There's going to be a treaty that comes out of this. There has to be a treaty that comes out of this. If you look
I have to give it up. Go for the mule.
Handed out certain to deal with post-colonial issues.
Moose.
Iran can be given a mandate. There's creative, innovative
Moose
solutions
and
here,
turkey
that go beyond Iran simply declaring we own the Strait of Hormuz.
and ducks.
And Iran and Oman,
Son of a gun.
we jointly own it. You don't. It's an international water. I mean, by law, it's international waterways.
Turkey.
So there's going to have to be a creative solution here, but I do think Iran has a right to say that for the foreseeable future, that it is given the ability to shut it down as a security guarantee. There's very few things that you can use as a security
I need a
guarantee
12 gauge for Turkey.
because we are liars. We negotiate in bad faith. We do. This one hurts. This one we can't control. I mean, we don't have a solution to it. So I think giving Iran the ability to shut her down for a period of time while the chips that have fallen are sorted out from this conflict is okay. But at some point in time, I mean, if you think about it, BRICS is going to become a bigger player in this than the United Arab Emirates is a member of BRICS, and so is Iran. They're going to have to learn to get along. Saudi Arabia was invited. It may come back in now.
12 gauge.
BRICS is the emerging
I need this one.
forum of note. China, Russia, India.
16 gauge.
Players in terms of the energy markets. China and India in terms of
20 gauge.
I just think that there's a lot more room for a multilateral, treaty-based.
I need this one.
Solution to this problem. I think you're right. There's going to be a creative solution that involves everybody.
Yeah, and Scott.
Wait. Off.
I don't know if you saw in moments like these we see the entirety of the breadth of I think contradictions and conflict rear heads, because it's such a decisive moment historically for a war like this. Well, Donald Trump came out during this Strait of Hormuz rollout of the news that Iran was reopening it under conditions, and he said about NATO, because I think what we've seen also in this is that NATO and the United States are indeed at a much bigger rift than maybe some might believe. But he said now that the Hormuz Strait situation is over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would need help. I told them to stay away unless they load up their ships with oil. They were useless.
20 gauge. Where's my 12 gauge?
What do you make of this rift? This has been going on since since February 28th, when a lot of these European countries were just not going to endorse this war, which, of course, made Trump very angry. And curious on your thoughts about this rift. It goes all the way into the Ukraine conflict.
I don't have any scope for this one.
Taking a back seat in attention, but still very much going on.
Well, this rift dates back to 2016, before Donald Trump was elected the first time around. He he belittled NATO. He said they weren't pulling their fair share, that NATO nations needed to pay a greater percentage of their GDP. I think the talk at that time was to bring it up to 2% GDP. Now it's up to 5%.
Okay.
Higher, but it doesn't matter. Trump has never viewed the NATO relationship in terms of geopolitical stability factor. He's viewed as a business.
Turkey and moose. Let's see.
Are you paying your fair share?
Let's see.
How can we make money? How
I need the
can we
turkey
sell
collar.
more weapons to you? Things of this nature. And so there's always been a rift there because NATO is supposed to be a transatlantic defensive alliance. And NATO's always played a subordinate role to American national security and foreign policy. But when Europe and America are
I want that wounded animal.
being a subordinated role to a posture that you agreed with, you could pretend that you weren't subordinated, that you were equals. But now we have the United States.
I need the wounded animal.
And Europe and the United States are totally divergent on many issues. We just saw that manifested with the situation in the Persian Gulf. So now it's clear that
I said that forever.
The only way that NATO works is if they surrender to the United States and the United States wants, which they're not willing to do.
Okay.
It's now a bad business deal. We're not getting anything out of it that we want. Ukraine has cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
With no discernible benefits. I just think as a business relationship,
So,
it's a failed business.
where are you now? 7 to 12. I'm so tempted to run up here. Catch him.
I think right now there's a lot of people in Congress that
I'm tempted. I feel like I have to do it.
In the past, NATO was willing to do what it took to keep the United States in. Now you have the Europeans meeting, saying we recognize the inevitability of the divorce. What do we do to have a Europe-only security framework? So I think the politics of divorce are a far different today than they were in 2016. I think we're looking at a real possibility of the United States leaving NATO either partially or in totality as early as this summer.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do it. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I have to do it. I need to shoot that wounded animal. I just have to. Okay. I'm out of control. I need this one. I need that one. That's what I need.
Of understanding has already been, on the table. But is there anything that's going to surprise us, or do you believe that Trump and the U.S. can find
I need that one. So my plan, I'll go up between. I'll have to take this first. I have to take that one first. Then I'll proceed to the next one. Wind direction. All right. Okay. Where was that?
signed the security agreement with Iran and but you know, it's very difficult to enter a broad-based security
Anyhow,
agreement when you have pre-existing conditions such as conflict with the United States that you know would
200 meters.
full embrace of Iran would mean that Russia's now going to the conflict. Russia's had to play a certain games, so there's been limitations to what Russia can and can't do, or at least what Russia's willing to do. So but I think once Iran becomes fully liberated,
All right.
And a good race.
I think both Russia and China.
I say fair.
I hear you.
I don't
Yeah.
race. Yeah, I don't race. Because I say fair.
It's behind this one. Do I circle around? I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to.
I know the rest. I said I know the rest.
That's okay. Part of
oh my God. I get butt.
Could set up the caller down here, but
Yeah, I said that. I know the rest. This one. I get mad.
India, Japan, the United States, and Australia. These three security framework
I say Jesus.
okay. It's alerted. Okay. I have to take it easy. They can see me 150 meters. It's 140. Female. A young female.
You see me allow because I get mud. I said now, ball. I make you. But
Japan and South Korea now understand there's a need to get
50.
along with China, to get along with North Korea, as opposed to positions
150.
oh, I live here.
Out. The United Kingdom is out. They hate that. In Australia, we're sitting there going, the whole concept about this is we're
Yeah.
submarines that we're not getting right now. And two, you're supposed to be to provide for our security, and we're sunk thanks to the United States in the Middle East. We have no diesel fuel. Because we have no diesel fuel, we have no ability to defend
Okay, have to try it from here.
There goes Alpes. In the quad, same thing. Japan, out. Australia,
We'll try our luck from here.
and then they need recognizing that they need to deal with the same economic realities that everybody else does. Good close relations with BRICS, like the United States.
Try our luck from here. Why did I shoot so bad?
Israel represents the antithesis of that. So the quad out. So there goes America's Pacific dreams. Europe was talking about the collapse of NATO. And so when we talk about Iran is going to be plugging into
Yeah. So if you take time when you shoot, you won't be wasting time when you are tracking the animal, the wounded animal. So you better take some extra time to line up your shot. Make sure it's a good hit, so you won't have to be chasing an animal around like this, like I'm doing now. This is the 4-year-old. Where's my other one? I need my mature. My old guys. Where's my old guys? Are they dead? Where are they? I don't want to shoot and have this one to run away. Okay, there's one more. Yes, my wounded guy. 8. Alright, fantastic. My wounded guy. Exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. I'm happy. I'm happy. Did I wound him again? Ah, he dropped. Thank God. I'm a happy guy. I'm so freaking happy. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. 4 hits, 3 shots. First one. Oh my God. It's too high. You shoot low when they're... I hit long, left and right long, but not enough to kill him. I hit both lungs. Oh. If I... Yeah, too high. I'm too high. I'm supposed to shoot low. And then there's a possibility of a hard shot also. So you don't rush when you're shooting. You take it easy. Make sure your aim is set. This was not the best shots either. Still, it's wounded and I took a chance. I took a chance. Artery. Super duper. Super duper duper.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important point of emphasis is that, yeah, the U.S.
Do we go and check if the others are here?
The lesson here is what it views and what it has invested in.
My flashlight
Power is not only
is
not
off.
working, but really showing this glaring need for
We can go and check, go and check, go and check, go and check. I lost hope for the moose. I shot so many young moose and I can only find two mature moose. I only found two mature, or two, not mature, but two moose respawn. One of them is 8. Where are they?
And that's not something that big, especially the big business, will.
That's a female.
Survive very long going down this path. It will be bad for it. So, what do you make of the overall, like, this lesson in terms of this change?
Frozen, apparently.
Well, that's perception creates its own reality. As I said, we're in the United States. We're caught up in theater, not reality. We're caught up in the.
I was thinking for every moose I heard, I shoot down, there should be another one spawning, but.
When we talk about the United States today, we're not talking about a constitutional republic. I mean, anybody who's trapped in the thinking,
I can't find them. I've been over the area 2 times. I found only 2. 2 with better fitness. The one was 75 or something, the other one was 80 something. So where are you guys? Where are you?
That means Congress doesn't exist. There's no checks and balances available. The basic underlying principle of American democratic constitutionally based government, which is checks and balances.
There you are. A young guy. Frozen. What's his health? 38%. That's too low. Gonna have to shoot that one. But where are the old guys I spotted? I had 4, 2 young guys. Supposed to be 1 old guy remaining. I took 2 down from that herd. 2 down, 2 down. This one's spawning. It's the same herd. Is spawning very early. Who are you? 1 year, 40. Gonna have to shoot both of them. Gonna have to shoot both of them. Frozen, they have fixed it, they said. The developers, they said they had fixed this bug.
positions him to
But I
develop
guess they
political
haven't.
power come the summer moving into midterm.
Oh, these are frozen animals from
It's about shaping, perceptions, just perceptions
from
for
before.
reality. And so it's very difficult to talk about an American, how America is going about finding a solution.
Ah.
The rest of the world, what the rest of the world is dealing with real reality. How do
Hard shot, that will be around here. Something like this. Yes. Okay.
The world's trying to deal with this, how to repair that. And so the world in the United States aren't even on the same script. We're reading out two totally different scripts.
Okay.
And that's going to be the greatest challenge. You said, how are they going to, how is Iran going to sell this, and how is the United States going to sell it? Again, we're speaking to two different audiences altogether. I guess the only way this works is if Trump just focuses solely on his narrative and ignores the fact that much of what he's saying can be contradicted by reality. Because whatever comes out of this peace agreement, it's going to be, playing primarily to the 10 points that Iran has put on the table, not the 15 points that the United States put on the table.
Yeah, those 15 points that you read, it's just a lot of the same gobbledygook that the Trump administration has been saying about Iran for so
all right.
long.
Shall we do Turkey?
Some of them don't even have any basis to be even negotiated upon. So, yeah.
Shall we do the Turkey? Hey, the ducks are
I
here.
guess I'm wondering, Scott, in terms of lessons then,
Got
for
some
the
ducks.
other side, for the multipolar world. I mean, we have Iran, of course, which is in the war directly and had to fight for survival and for defense, sovereignty, etc. There are a lot of lessons there for Iran to learn and come away from, especially being on the winning side, as you said. But then there's Russia, there's China, and there's really the rest of the, as you call it, family of nations that are moving in this direction for more sovereignty, for maybe a world where the dollar is not dominant anymore, more freedom to be able to develop independently and without fear of aggression. What lessons does the world on this side of the aisle glean from what's happened here, and what might what might be expected to happen here? In the coming days.
Oh, what's this?
It's China. You're in China right now. China's vulnerability to global energy markets has been exposed.
I have to do this.
Chinese economy is at risk right now. If this
I have to do these guys.
This
they can see me 200 meters.
Flowing freely from Iran and the Middle East continues. China's economic growth is threatened. So this is a big vulnerability that's been exposed. The other vulnerability that's been exposed is China. There's no replacement for the petrodollar. 18.
That one has to go.
I mean, that's just a reality. People keep talking about, well, we're going to sell it in yuan.
They can see me 200 meters.
China have yuan printing presses out there right now, just banging away. The Chinese currency isn't. The foundation of the Chinese currency
fitness, low fitness, mature or old.
Petrodollar. The Chinese aren't ready to make that leap.
He can see me from here. Now he can see me 140 meters.
So I think what we're seeing is that, you know,
And they don't want to, and they don't want to make they don't want to make
they
the
don't
leap
want to
because
make that leap. That's right.
it would mean deconstructing currency from the real economy. They don't want to do that.
Correct. And so, for all the people saying we're going to get rid of the petrol, no, we're not. Not for now, because there's no replacement for it. None. So the petrodollar's there because the petrodollar is convenient. We just have
Come
the
on.
United States to start, playing a little bit. Scott is wrong on this. I always love
The
when people
what?
say that, and you're so fucking right.
Oh my God.
No, I'm right on this. There is no replacement for the petrodollar. China has severe energy vulnerabilities that have been exposed from this, but other things have emerged too at the same time. You heard about the major automobile industrialists from Europe and the United States that recently toured China and
zero.
came back in the report they made.
Remember, one good shot
will never be able to
is worth
China
a lot.
has perfected the art of innovative, responsive mass production, robotic based.
All right.
It's instantly,
Got him very well.
as the Chinese come up with new concepts, they can
That one has a
instantly
turbo.
program them in, and they're adapted. A car line can be changed, mid-production as
300.
improvements come up. They're outproducing the world, and the inefficiencies of the West, Europe, and the United States are so manifest that we're never going to catch up. I mean, this is a new reality right now too. The supremacy, not superiority, supremacy of the Chinese model of industrialism is there. Now China has to take care of that because they still have supply chain vulnerabilities, and as I said,
all right.
We just found out that if we shut down the Strait of Hormuz, China's got problems until China gets more oil flow from Russia. There's talk about increased pipelines, etc. But I think that this war has brought a lot of clarity to the global reality, where weaknesses are, where strengths are. I think what we found is that the world is far more vulnerable to, we always knew it, but the world pretended it wasn't. Danny, we've had this conversation, everybody's threatening about what happens when the Strait of Hormuz. Remember before the war started? The Iranians are going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, then if there's a war, they're going to strike all the oil fields. Oil's going to jack up to $200 a barrel, now it'll be the end of the world. And we said that till we were blue in the face. Everyone went, isn't going to happen. It happened. It happened. And it's real. And what we're finding out is nobody was ready for this. The Chinese weren't ready for this. And so I think you're going to see a change in Chinese foreign policy, national security policy. Nobody likes to have this big a vulnerability. So I think you're going to see China altering its approach to energy security, to making sure that they don't have,
you can see me 140 meters.
Points of vulnerability like they do with the Strait of Hormuz.
Can see him.
But I also think that you're going to see China move to transition away from
that one is 15
confrontation to economic competition. It's in China's interest to do that as well, because they're so dominant. They're just so dominant.
15.
I mean, and I wish I had gone on that tour.
Coffee time.
Seen what these guys said, but these CEOs were shocked. shocked about just how
Coffee
bad
time.
China is and how bad we are. You know, because we're still. I mean, no offense to labor unions in America, but you know, your union is the most inefficient capitalist.
Right, both of them are coming.
Your union is designed to be inefficient.
See.
And as a result, China, which doesn't have a union, is kicked.
Yes. Internet is
in our ass. Your union won't allow
very
us to
bad
replace
in
an
evening.
inefficient worker with an efficient robot. And so we're trapped in a legacy model that's actually goes back to the 1930s.
Supposed to be called.
In China,
Why are you not called
it's
yet?
just out there, you know, legacy rolling ahead. I'm not picking on unions. I'm just saying this is a reality. We have a different, you know, social, you know, contract with our people. And it's holding us back. It's
They are
holding us
all
back.
coming back here.
That's it.
Yeah, well, there is something very archaic about.
Why are you running?
Of course,
It's
what
cold?
I would call like the race to the bottom, deindustrialization, this kind of thing, which leads to unions, especially what unions do exist, which is very few.
Yeah.
But, what unions do exist, especially in industry. Wanting to hold on to whatever they have, and the companies, they're not looking to really innovate. They're looking to just make more money, and when they just want to make more money, then what they replace the workers with is machines that may be more efficient, but they're more efficient at making money rather than more efficient.
Now you can see me 10 meters.
Product and all of this.
I'm visible 10 meters only. Makes my shot more difficult. Makes my shot more difficult.
Tid. Chips äts du vara utbygglig byar till sommarfritid.
Alright.
Kunna till
This is a hard shot.
Roman.fo.
Dropped him. This one. Drop two of them. Yeah. 1 year, 26. Oh my god, these herds, they are so poor. That's the problem with this. You have to...
being, choked. That's not going to serve interest there. That will make it a lot harder.
It takes time to
that
manage
really
an area. To manage all the herds for one area, it takes time. Oh my god, you are so busy.
Yeah, China wants its excess production to be of use, not necessarily. It's not outsourcing it to. Outsourcing it.
You need a routine.
Tax havens, low wage. Well, no, they want it to be used.
Hard shot.
So they.
Yeah.
More money making opportunities.
Alright.
And that is in capital intensive opportunities, all of this. That's really where the dangers are here.
5.
Because a major war that lasts months.
18.
been months and maybe years,
Well,
like a lot of U.S.
shoot
wars
you.
do, that destabilizes its energy markets. It hurts everybody, and it would start hurting everybody in the long term. Despite the advantages of, let's say, Russia with all of its oil, and China with all of its production, and Iran with all of its,
Heart.
sovereignty and, furious strength to defend its independence, like but the economic
Trophy.
situation will
1,
cause
2,
suffering
3,
for
4, 5,
most of
6,
the world.
7, 8.
And that's something that doesn't benefit a project
All right,
that's meant
let's
to
go for
better
this
the
one.
world. And so that's where I feel like a lot of the contradictions lie. But Scott, any final comments on this? And
I doubt if I can call him.
anything else that maybe we haven't talked about?
No, I mean I was
You can see me 200 meters. I drop down
Energy
here.
Intelligence. It's a energy publishing consortium, and twice a month I'm supposed to
Calm.
produce an article on what they call the WEO, World Energy Opinion page. And for the last week, I've been supposed to write on this ceasefire,
Calm.
and I can't because it's a moving target. I mean, I'm afraid, because you're supposed to write something that at least is able to engage an audience for a week. It's okay to write something and then have the world change a week later, and you say, well, it was, you got to read it, you got to get informed, and as the world changed, at least you understood the foundation of that change. It's okay. You don't have to predict everything to the T. But on this situation, every day is I literally
5.
have written this article 3 times, and I'm ready to hit send when I read the headlines and go, they can't publish this because it's already outdated. And so,
All right, move in.
It's frustrating, but that's the reality.
We can make coffee at the same time.
That we're in collectively. We try
State
to, all of us,
energy.
watch your show and
Or we can drink this state energy. I need coffee. I like coffee.
become better informed. But the discussion we're having today
I need
is
coffee also.
contingent upon one of the most irrational, unstable global leaders in the world, Donald Trump. We're having a conversation based upon Truth Social posting that he.
Who's screaming? Who's screaming?
He may put out
My friend?
another Truth Social post that just basically blows our mind and goes the exact.
My friend.
Just kidding. Yeah, just kidding.
And then the other thing too is that I don't think people understand the global vulnerability that has emerged about energy security and the desperation that exists in many parts of the world. Again, I just point out, you go to Europe today, you got aircraft at every major airport taking off, flying, and
5 years.
And they're doing this whole
5 years.
interactivity.
My God, I'm so busy. Can you come this way, please, sir? Move this way.
What happens when airplanes stop flying? What happens?
Yeah, there's no need to stand in the bushes. How am I supposed to shoot you if I'm in the middle of the bushes? Can you please?
We are closer to global economic collapse than people understand, and that's
I'm going to shoot you through the bushes. Bank.
This conflict, because there's
a risky
lot of
shot.
involved here. I mean, everybody wants Iran to stay the course.
Now you're behind the tree.
Stay the course. Oh, that's bad for Iran because it's.
All right. Let's see.
When you get global economic collapse, there's
If
no
I'm
longer an
lucky.
incentive to
If I'm
stop
lucky.
them. And then Iran will just stay isolated forever. That's not good for Iran.
He's dropping.
You know,
Yes,
then
yes,
we also
yes.
have, you know, the pressures that are brought to bear by this global economic
And they are
collapse on Donald
sprinting
Trump.
like as if they have turbo, all of
He
them.
will be blamed for this. This is his war. This is his tar baby. He's got to, you know, free himself from this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But, you know, there's the politics here that are to put. At some point in time,
Who are you, my
it's
friend?
so apparent to Donald Trump that he's not going to reverse
Female?
course. He'll find it.
Yeah.
He may say, "Well, then I have to go full bore on war." You know, if I can't get peace and convince you.
Oh my God. They are still running.
American people that I'm the greatest
Oops.
peacemaker that ever walked, and I deserve 3 Nobel Peace Prizes
Yeah.
put around my neck. If I'm going to lose the election, no matter what, because of this, then I might as well double down on another route and go the war route. So we're not out of the
So far, so good.
fire yet.
I need the mule there.
You know, we knocked down the flames, but we got some smoldering.
I need 1 or
embers
2
out
mule there.
And we need to extinguish it. We're not there yet. It's we're in a very unstable period in global history right now, which sort of makes it fun doing what we do, but also makes it frustrating because you know,
excuse me.
you just don't know what's going to happen in the next hour or so because it's changing. There's no
That's my boss.
there's no foundation of stability
5.
upon which decisions are being made. We're dealing with
5.
a world that's very much chaotic.
29. 31. I'll take it at one of them.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't think that's right. I know that's correct. And
200 meters, you can see me.
the reality bears fruit to
Gonna
that.
need
Scott, I want to make sure everybody knows to go to ScottRitter.com
this one,
and read the
adult.
description after the show that you know, that is
Fitness any.
and you can support him financially and otherwise.
Just a
as
second.
well as make sure you hit the like button before you go. I
Right
want
there.
to thank all
There's
the
something
people
wrong
that,
here.
as well.
The code fur it
That
says
is,
regular, but
yeah, we
I've
didn't talk about
harvested
this. Donald Trump says he will not unfreeze or
a
unfreeze,
millennial.
and we'll
No,
see if it's a
what
virtue.
they
You know,
call
these
it.
are the kind of contradictory.
A wolf special fur. It says regular here.
But again, as Scott said,
So-
none of that might matter tomorrow. So
This one is
thank you for your super chat.
170. You can see me very soon.
And everyone who watched, moderators who helped out with the chat, everything.
Now we can spot me
Scott,
140
anything you want to say to the audience
meters.
before we head out of here?
No, just to reiterate,
Any fitness, any age. Low fitness, adult, mature.
go to my Substack,
Nah.
ScottRitter.com. I just
You
published an
be
article
quiet or I'll
with a
shoot you.
report card on the trip I just made to Russia. The trip was made possible by the generous donations of audiences such as yours.
It's called?
So
Calm.
I'm telling you how I spent your money.
Calm.
And also putting on notice that in June I'm going back. I call it the Revenge Tour. Because in 2024 I was supposed to go speak at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum.
Early access. They have
State
to
Department pulled my passport. And
change the animal behavior.
this year I'm going to go speak at the
So
St. Petersburg
we can
International
hunt with
Economic Forum,
bows and
fill the
crossbows.
mission, and then I'm going to go on
Can't use bows and crossbows at a range of 60 meters. It's impossible, and we cannot call the animals closer than 60 meters.
20-day trip.
With a
someplace.
bow and crossbow,
It's gonna be pretty
I
cool.
can do a better herd management, stalking the animals, getting them
But I
close.
would
I
be,
don't have to. I can take
asking
one down
for,
with a bow or two,
continued
and
support.
then the
Independent
third one with
journalism doesn't happen unless you're
the
truly
rifle,
independent. It'd be very easy for me to go
without
out and
spoking
sponsor.
the herd with the first two animals. So
Then you become beholden to the sponsors. The only way to do independent
for now,
journalism
it's like
is
this.
beholden to nobody. And that can only happen through generous donations. So
That one
if
is
people are
about
inclined to
to
support this work,
spook. I better go down.
please go to skyraider.com, read the report card. If you think
I don't want that one
I
to
did a passing
spook the
grade, then,
rest.
maybe continue to
This
support. I thank everybody for the support they provided.
elk. Can
Yeah,
it smell
yeah,
me?
definitely. And
No,
I'm here
she
in town
can't.
and I know
She's
the
up
videos,
here.
John
Wind
Way,
is
I
that way.
streamed from here with him.
So how are
There'll
we?
be more too, but it's all
Calm.
because of support from
None of them
audience.
called.
So
Okay.
make sure you take heed. That's
If
why
he
he's
stops,
not get here for these
I
tickets,
shoot.
which are not cheap
50 meters, 100 meters.
anymore.
Range
Never
0.
not cheap now. Not cheap now. Oh my gosh.
Make sure you get a good shot. Don't take any chances.
Rough. So yeah, definitely everything Scott said. Take heed to it.
Oh, looks good.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit the
Yes,
like
yes,
button
yes.
before you go.
Very
Skyraider's,
good. Don't take chances. Bang,
Exactly.
bang,
Here's
bang, bang,
Play Sports
bang,
channel there
bang,
too.
bang,
See you
bang,
again next
bang,
week.
bang, 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 bang. All right. Reload. Fine, fine, fine. Very nice. Very good. Successful. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now these moose, they are giving me itches. I want to harvest a good moose or manage that herd. Left lung, right lung, heart. Perfect, perfect, perfect. S++ hunt rating. That is the best hunt rating you can have. Just a look at the map. Let's see. Vulnerable, stable, vulnerable, 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 stable, vulnerable, 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 healthy. See? Healthy, 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 healthy. Vulnerable. These are the elk. Yeah. Stable, 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 healthy, stable, stable, stable. It's too early. This one I spotted here. I don't know what kind of. And here's something crazy with these three guys. They have 2 zones, 3 zones stacked on top of each other. That is not normal. So I wonder which one I was supposed to be a zone here somewhere. No? So it was one of these three and they just shifted the zone. But I think it was a drinking zone. That's what I'm thinking. It's 9 to 1 o'clock. And it's 11 o'clock now. So if I go here, the bridge is broken. You cannot pass here. So you have to pass this way and come down here. I'm so tempted to try it. I'm so tempted to try it. Wind direction. I'm going to spook these guys. That's okay. Feeding over there. Resting over here. They are resting after. I'm so tempted to go over there. I'm so tempted. Let's go. Or should I leave the moose alone? The oldest one was 8 years old. And if I check here, just a minute. See this. Animals aging. Core behind growing high star trophies and managing healthy herds. The system rewards patience and active gameplay rather than just living through years. Aging cycle. 1 year is 3 in-game days. Every full in-game day, animals advance 1 year in age. Growth trigger. Major changes in trophy score, star rating, and weight occur at the start of each new year. The transition from day 3 to day 1. Maximum age. Each species has a specific maximum 12, 8, 3 in-game days. Once an animal reaches the end of its final year, it will die. So, alright. Okay, let's just this. Yeah. Yeah. Half an hour active playtime. Yeah. Yes. Okay, now calculate for me. Let's see. All right. There's a calendar. I don't see a calendar. I don't see a calendar. There's no calendar. No calendar, my friend. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who are you? No, 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 not that one. Sorry. Excuse me. You didn't hear me. Oh, Jesus Christ, not that one. Low fitness, mature. Oh my God. I'm not here. It's not me. According to my own calculation, if, let's say, an elk has to become mature, it takes 3 sessions a day. It will age 1 year. Starts as a 1-year-old, has to become like 16. That means I have to play 16 days before the animal will be mature. My God. That seems a bit much. A bit long time waiting. The oldest animals, the mule deer, it takes, they become like 8-year-old. That's 8 days of active play. How are you, my friend? Could take you. I could take you. I don't think the other ones are coming back here. He just ran off. You are looking fine. Stand still. That was not a good hit. Or it was. It was. Takes forever for these animals to age. I'm a bit too impatient. But if it takes like 2 or 3 times to manage one herd before you get animals with 80% fitness, then you don't have to wait for them to mature. You can harvest them before they become too old. Like this one, I can harvest it when it's, let's say that one was 60%. I could have taken them down when it was like 3 years old. No need to wait for them to become very old. That would be... Oh, I have to save time. So from the time you see a young one, 1-year-old, 20%, you shoot him. Next day, 3 sessions, you go back, you have another one. He's like 60%. Shoot him. Another 1 more day, another 3 sessions. You get one that is 80%, and then you have to wait for 10-12 days before you can take that one down. and check. And maybe have a nice trophy. Where the fuck was that quack? A lot of calculations. Mathematics. Plenty of mathematics. Hello, my friend. How are you? I was seeing you. Who are you? You are a female. Alright. Turkey. How are you, my friend? Also a female. Did you call her a mare? Mature. These guys. Male. Female. Female.
What is this one? What this one?
Ah.
This one.
Female.
See what they say. What they have to say? Update the will my address is what?
Wait a second. I'm looking.
Get me looking what I have to press here.
Update your email address. Show me.
Then what I have to say, not now, what? What to say then?
You added Esther Udvark to your account a while ago. If you have another email address that's more current, no, you say not now. This one is fine.
It's just that one only.
Yeah.
But it's re.
I think so.
Yeah, it's re.
That's what I think.
I become re.
So let's go and check this moose before so I can rest my mind. Alright, who's here? Naval and Joe Kent. Alright. The cradle. Where is this here? Oh, that's it. Doomer Friday. I like to listen to the YouTube while I'm gaming.
So I do think every now and again there probably was some more bellicose rhetoric that was coming behind closed doors from the Gulf states.
Torture my ears with Naval.
It's the Iranians, etc. But again, when they were saying that, I think they were generally trying to be
So,
supportive of.
how are you going about this? You want to go up and check here?
Didn't think this war would get launched.
This is the one I'm looking for.
And it's going to take a lot of creative diplomacy for us to figure out how to put all this
But
back together.
if I go up here,
Risks we have,
back to the cabin, then come around here.
Friends with America, but it doesn't mean what it used to mean. And so now when the Chinese come and say like they'd like to buy some oil and we'll settle the transaction in Iran,
So they are resting.
yeah, we're good with that. And so
One of them should be here.
Our standing as a world reserve currency holder.
These
I just
guys.
think these implications are major.
Oh.
Another reason why we got to end this
Yeah.
thing as soon as we possibly can to try and put all this back together.
Yeah, I agree. That was my next question was, is there a possibility you think that US bases will pull out of the region? There's something happening behind the scenes. For Iran to give up their biggest leverage to open the Strait of Hormuz, I understand they got a ceasefire in Lebanon, but that was expected. That's a great achievement.
Let's see. Just do a few changes.
Israel remains in Lebanon. We're going to talk about Lebanon in a second. But that's a good achievement, but it's not groundbreaking. So for them to open
Alright,
Strait of
Moose
Hormuz
is
and
5,
then
yeah.
Strait of Iran, again,
Perfect.
we should look into that or not, whether it means something, is hinting at something,
Perfect.
or it's just Trump being Trump. But I'm worried there's something that Trump is giving up that could backfire for the Gulf, and especially for Israel. What do you think?
Sees now that the amount of bases that we had in the Middle East, when it came time for a major war, those bases were actually a strategic liability and not a strategic asset. So if I were him, I would go there and be like, "You want us to pull out of the region? Okay, fine. You convinced me. We'll pull out of the region." Knowing that militarily we need to pull back anyway. It's just the way that this war has been fought, the war in Ukraine, modern warfare now. For us to say that we're projecting power by having carrier battle groups, boots on the ground, military bases in areas.
So jumping around the Moose area is gathering information.
I'm not even sure a lot of these bases are worth.
I'm getting some experience in herd management.
So I would be
learning the ropes.
Say, yeah, we're going to reduce our signature.
Learning the ropes early on. Find out how to move around this between herds.
There's a way to say it that, like, okay, we are going to reduce some of our footprint.
I don't waste so much time.
I just think that when push came to shove, and a lot of us have been saying this for years, especially if our bases in vulnerable locations like Iraq and Syria, Jordan, Kuwait, where we tragically had a huge loss. We've been saying for a long time, like, look, we can close the distance and we can strike our enemy when we need to, but we're actually handing
These guys have been drinking.
When we put bases close enough where they can hit us back. So I think us reducing our signature in the region overall is going to be a very good thing.
Where are they drinking? Here?
Let me know if you agree with this. The war was a strategic win for Iran, no question about it. The security guarantee of the US in the region is gone. And there's a very important card that
I wonder where they drink.
Israel and the Gulf, but also Israel's always had against Iran. They're like, hey, if you push us too far, big bad US, United States, big bad because Iran sees the imperial US empire as bad.
Must be down here they drink.
Would come to our rescue, just destroy, would obliterate your military. That card is gone because Iran.
Nah, we'll go up here.
Has shown they can sustain massive bombing campaign and keep hitting back. So if you put that along with the fact that now the US has to pull out of the region, that you could do it strategically and turn it into a benefit, because as you said, those bases are a liability. More importantly, Iran has
I heard that.
Their control, or reasserted their control.
Where did you come? Where are you?
Now on who controls the Strait of Hormuz.
Where did you call me from?
So the war was a strategic loss for the US, strategic win for Iran. And for the US, it's a strategic loss unless Trump turns it around. The way to turn it around is what we've discussed so far. Change the relationship with the US, improve relations with Iran and do business with Iran, change the shape of the region as a whole, stop that whole proxy war between Israel, Iran, the Gulf. If Trump does that, then the war would end up being a strategic win for the US, for Trump, and a strategic win for Iran. And the only loser would end up being Israel and maybe the Gulf, depending on what deal they have with Iran. What do you think of that potential outcome or that analysis?
I agree. Iran emerges from this much stronger as the strategic victor, unfortunately. But like you said, if Trump gets a historic deal with the Iranians, then it's actually win-win. And the only downside is really for the Israelis. I think there's a way between us having a new era of peace and cooperation with the Iranians.
Israel is finished. A project is a useless project. Cut your losses.
That the Gulf states end up saying, like, okay, yeah,
cut your losses.
We're okay with
drop this jingoism.
This as well, because overall,
it's costing you more.
As a center of commerce for the world, and not having to worry about an
cut your losses.
Aggressive Iran next door, shutting down the Straits of Hormuz. If it becomes in everyone's best.
Where are you calling me?
Keep commerce flowing. I think that's going to be a net positive, basically, for everybody. Now, obviously, this isn't good.
Over there.
For Israel, but other than that, in the grand scheme of things,
A male.
Israel is a very
Fantastic.
country. They don't control any critical resources. They're not major
This is
punching way out of their
that's a low
weight class
fitness.
influence. But
1
again,
year,
like
15.
President Trump wants to turn this
You are
into a
mine.
win. That's the win right there. That's historic and strategic deal. And in terms of, like who's going to have more influence, the Iranians are going to be very incentivized to do business with us. We have a major economy. They have a major economy as well. There is a way for this to work out where everyone can cooperate. There can be different economic deals made, even if it does reshape, the GCC, or does reshape our security arrangements. We're still a very powerful country, and so I think there's a lot of potential using smart diplomacy and just economic cooperation for this whole thing to settle out to be a net positive for us and for the Iranians as well.
Yeah, not only a very powerful country, but I understand that was a strategic loss for the US, but the US has shown its military.
Yes, sir. Come on, yeah.
You bombed the hell out of Iran. You've only had
Yes.
one fighter jet that was shut down. Later, the
Yes, friend, come here.
No, I think the military prowess is unquestionable, and we've seen the inability of any other country to come in to support their allies. Because let's not forget, Russia and China, their support for Iran was very, very limited. Sharing some intelligence, trying to ship some weaponry. So I think it's important not to discount that. What happens in Lebanon now? We've got actually, let's talk about Hezbollah. I've been very vocal about Hezbollah. I think Hezbollah should be disarmed for Lebanon to prosper. But also, Israel needs to pull out of Lebanese territory. And there's a chicken and egg
Come
problem.
up here.
Hezbollah
Oh my
disarming,
God.
but who's going to deter Israeli again?
All right, let's see.
So my first question for you is the former
Nah,
head of the
it's behind. I'm not getting a shot.
unit in the government. How does the US see Hezbollah? I know it's labeled as a terrorist organization, but it's not Hamas, it's not ISIS. It's very different to those groups, and people like Lindsey Graham love to conflate them. So what's the true perception of Hezbollah in the US government?
It really depends on who you ask. There is that just blanket label that they're a terrorist organization. Again, Hezbollah is a very capable terrorist organization when they want to be. What I always point out is that by and large, Hezbollah has kept their operations in Lebanon, in the region. So they're definitely a threat to us. And their proxies, Kataib, Hezbollah, and Iraq, they are a threat to us when we're there local. However, there's very, very limited capability and even less intent for Hezbollah to come strike us in the United States. There's some reporting here and there about that every now and again. So it's not to discount that, but by and large, Hezbollah and most Shia terrorist organizations, like, they don't aspire to get on an airplane and attack us here in ISIS, the Salafis, the Sunni brand of Islamic terrorism. So in the political role that Hezbollah has played as well, and I think a broader picture here, Hezbollah does get a lot of their popular support from their resistance against the Israelis. And again, this is us having to pay for what Israel does, and like, how much does it matter to any American, like how much ground Israel controls or how much they expand in Lebanon? It doesn't matter at all to us. However, we do end up paying for it when we're targeted as a consequence of our support for Hezbollah. Another big issue too, I think, is what takes place in the fight of us supporting different proxy groups to try and overthrow Assad. We ended up supporting Al-Qaeda and ISIS initially. We had to go back in and take out ISIS, but now you have a former leader of Al-Qaeda in charge of Syria, who is now going to be the Israelis are going to attempt to use him now against Hezbollah. And when ISIS was kind of beating down the doorstep of Lebanon, it was Hezbollah that saddled up and went and fought against them. So if we're trying to take away influence from Hezbollah, we've done a very bad job in terms of the actions that we took inside of Syria as well. So again, this is where I think we would be much better off.
Not a perfect shot, but
just not meddling in these affairs because they don't really pertain to us, and we always end up setting fires that we end up having to go back and put out later on.
Now that we are here,
look, my position
let's take a look.
I can't even go to the country without significant security guarantees because of how vocal I am against Hezbollah.
Let's take a look.
The president of Lebanon, so I'm very, very vocal of Hezbollah, and I think they should disarm. But at the same time,
nothing. Somebody calling here?
Again, you were the director of the National Counter.
Nobody.
But, as transparently as possible, I do feel the term terrorism is used in a blanket way and politicized to an extent where some groups are labeled terrorists for political purposes, and that diminishes from the actual terrorist groups like ISIS, because you put ISIS and Hezbollah in one basket. That's really doing a disservice to how evil ISIS was. Same thing is when people use the word Nazi. Whenever Democrats use the word Nazi against ISIS or whoever on the right, it just pisses me off because you take away from the evilness of the Nazi regime. So, pressing on that again,
only girls.
They don't really care about the US. They don't really, their main focus
no boys.
is advancing Iranian interests. They are an Iranian proxy. I don't care what they say. And number two, countering the Israeli threat. So your conclusion is that the US should kind of step away and not get involved in the region anymore. But Trump did say make Lebanon great again. There's been reports, I don't think he said it, but there's reports, I mean Reuters said today that Trump or the US may be involved in helping disarm Hezbollah.
All right.
So my two questions for you is, I don't know if you can answer the first one.
We'll go over here.
Consider Hezbollah as a terrorist organization? And it's a tough question to ask you. But then the second one, should the US be involved in disarming Hezbollah and then step away from the region as a final move? I'm not saying militarily be involved, but politically putting pressure on the government, supporting the government, maybe arming the Lebanese military to do what I think is right, and that is disarming Hezbollah while offering security guarantees against Israel.
The challenge that we have is when we label a group a terrorist organization, but then they become part of a government. We still have to deal with that government. We're seeing that in Syria. I mean, like the example I just gave, we had a bounty on Sarr's head, then he ends up taking over. So it's like, what do we do here? Do we acknowledge them? And we have the same problem in Iraq right now. We're trying to play kingmaker over there, but we've got elements of that government that have been heavily involved with Iranian proxy groups that targeted American soldiers. Again, I think the big thing is, like, in terms of a lot of these Shia Iranian-backed groups, like, they're not, the vast majority of them are not, like, you know what we need to do? We need to establish a caliphate so we can get on planes and go attack and kill Americans. Like, that's not their thing. They do want local political control. So I think we need to just acknowledge what that is and how to go forward and deal with it. Like, if the Lebanese Shia want to elect Hezbollah, fine. I would let them sort that out if they think that it's a good thing to have an armed militia as part of their government. I think the natural conclusion will be yours, that that's not a good thing, and the Lebanese government and the Lebanese people should work on disarming them. I don't think we have any business getting involved in that whatsoever. I think that's a trap. We will end up in a bloody quagmire. Again, that does not really benefit America. In terms of our CT resources, our finite counterterrorism resources, we should be focused on making sure ISIS doesn't stick its head back up in Syria. We just had, tens of thousands of ISIS fighters that were freed by the Bashar government that are now somewhere in Syria, many of whom are foreigners. Now, these are the guys who live, eat, sleep, and breathe the caliphate to come destroy the West, to come kill Americans. We've got a similar situation of Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, in Yemen. So, look, we have to really, really focus on what is an actual threat to us and not get involved saying, like, well, we don't like that group, and yeah, they were bad in the 1980s when we were here. I understand that. I mean, we
all right, we can come back and shoot these guys. First priority is to move. No, the moves.
But if we are constantly chasing this cycle of vengeance, it becomes a self-defeating trap for us. And so again, like, we have to put our interests first and just say, like, look, we've only got so many resources. We're going to go after the guys who are a threat to us. These other guys who maybe we don't like, that's going to be a Lebanese problem. That's going to be an Iraqi problem. We'll deal with whoever is there in power in accordance with our interests.
A final question on that topic is, you mentioned deal with our threats. What is the biggest threat to the US right now? You know, I remember before this war, the focus was on China. Before that, everyone under Biden, it was about Russia. Then it shifted to China. I'm like, great, Trump is moving the narrative away from Russia being an enemy. Russia should not be an enemy. China is a rival. I wouldn't like to call them an enemy. Are they the biggest threat to the US, or is that overblown? And if not, what is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat to America is the fact that we had a border that was open for 4+ years. The National Counterterrorism Center identified about 18,000 individuals who were given access to America under the Biden administration, who have ties to terrorist organizations. We've also got the cartels that are running amok, killing Americans with fentanyl. So I personally think we have enough problems internally in America that's what we need to focus on, secure our borders.
All right.
We can do some finite CT strikes here and there against individuals who want to attack us. In terms of, you know, China and Russia, like, look, China is a threat. However, I think the biggest issue that we have with China is a lot of the economic leverage that we've given them in terms of exporting our manufacturing base over to China, but that also makes them like codependent upon us. So I think we can compete economically with China. I don't think there's any reason for us to be in some kind of a conflict, or, you know, we're going to fight them over Taiwan. I think that's preposterous. Whether or not the Taiwanese, you know, rejoin China or not, like, that's not our business. Our business is that we were foolish enough to export our chip manufacturing to Taiwan. That's the only reason Taiwan matters to us. So we should be working on getting our chip development back here in America, create American jobs, make us independent of any of those foreign entanglements, those foreign needs. So look, I just view the world in a different way, that we can cooperate economically with most nations. We don't need to be in this constant state of conflict, because really at the end of the day, the conflict doesn't really get any countries, you know, any further. It doesn't make their civilizations safer or more secure. There are enough bad actors out there. There's always going to be people that we do need to fight. I'm not, you know, a complete and total isolationist. I'm a realist. But the biggest threat that we have right now, I think, is within our own borders, but also our country's spending at this exorbitant amount, while at the same time, like, we've used sanctions, we've devalued the dollar that way, the petrodollar is now eroding. We've really got to focus here on what's important and make sure America is strong. We can't keep getting sucked into these foreign entanglements.
Yeah, like, it bothers me when people keep talking about, including Americans and people I respect, like Ray Dalio, the hedge fund manager, they talk about the fall of the American empire. That's really upsetting, because I'm from Australia. I'm a believer in democracies, and democracy is a concept won't survive. I think without the US, Europe is already struggling to survive as a whole. So it's really upsetting to see. Like, do you think there's any truth to that statement, if we look at it objectively?
Well, you know, unfortunately, the American empire has been different than every other empire, but we've attempted to kind of govern it like a traditional empire. But by that I mean, we have tried to use military adventurism. We've tried to use forcing things through a barrel of a gun to say, like, this is going to be the order of the world. That's not what I think gives America influence. I think the example that we set, the economic opportunity,
you see, there
not
is.
necessarily for people to come live here, but for us to be a good
I have been
partner.
managing this herd, but there are no new animals to be spotted
For us
anywhere.
to be a stabilizing force in the world. I think that's what makes us a sustainable empire.
And this
But if we
is
try and be
so
an empire where we
frustrating.
have bases everywhere, where we're deciding who needs to be the president in, like, you know, Iraq.
Maybe the
or
wolves are
Lebanon,
eating my
for God's
animals.
sakes, or we
I'll
can
go and
decide
shoot
what
all
kind
the
of government is
wolves.
going to be in Iran. We will spend all of our time, money, and effort, all of our blood and treasure on those endeavors, and we will squander the republic that we have here. So I'm
You are a controlled opposition, my friend.
a big fan of the statement that Pat Buchanan had a long time ago, that you can't have an empire and have a stable republic at the same time, too. I think by our
They are saying all the right thing, just like Trump. When you're elected, you do have all things
example in our stability, we will have the influence,
your owners
a greater influence
want you
than
to do.
any empire ever has.
As we wrap up, Joe, is
You are a fake
where do you see the
fake
peace deal?
person,
How
my
do you see it
friend.
evolving? And where do you see this all end? How's the middle?
Joe Kent is fake. Joe Kent
gonna
is
look like
fake.
last year's
Controlled opposition.
Man, it's pretty early, and you know Trump's tweeting a mile a minute right now, so who knows how it could all look, how it could all end up.
We could.
You try and
If we don't check online, we could be at war as we
appeal
speak.
to all the voters that turned their back on Trump because he failed.
So, I mean, pending any
Failed this voter. He didn't fail
changes,
his
I am optimistic. I do think President Trump wants a deal.
his controllers,
I think
managers.
the power of Trump is his ability to basically flip the table when things aren't going in his way and create a whole new set of rules and a whole new playing board. And I hope that he's doing that right now. I hope he's not constrained by the Israeli lobby and not constrained by the Israelis. I think the first step, and he took that today.
Can you find me some footsteps?
In that post that we talked about earlier, is actually restraining Israel. If he can do that, I do think it's wide open. I think he could get a historic peace deal with Iran, and that would be an incredible legacy. For the president, it'd be a great thing, a great stabilizing thing. But if we allow the Israelis to continue to go on the offensive, if we're not patient with the deal making with the Iranians, look, the Iranians obviously want a deal. Otherwise, they would still be lobbing ballistic missiles. If we're not patient with that process,
For God's sake. I can't walk.
Keep our eyes on the goal of the peace deal, then we are going to get sucked down into the quagmire of another war in the Middle East. And it's going to have massive
serious
implications instantly, just because of the Straits of Hormuz and the flow of energy.
ground is flat and I'm stuck.
I haven't seen many people as patriotic as you. I mean, from the looks of what you've achieved.
No,
why do this? Why come out? Why be so vocal? What triggered that decision? Because that's a pretty scary decision to go against the Israeli lobby, seeing how capable they are. Again, you're the former head of the counterterrorism of the center, so you know more than anyone about how
he
capable
is
they are.
controlled opposition.
So for me,
They need somebody that appeals
fighting in the war on terror, a lot of time in Iraq, and about my third deployment to Iraq about 20 years ago.
to all the voters who turned their back on Trump.
And a lot of people were dead. A lot of my friends were dead because
It's all about the voters.
Because I believed in the
From one liar to another.
brothers I was fighting with, and I thought I could fix things from that level. But I said to myself, like, if I ever get the opportunity, if I'm ever at a senior level, like so many of my senior leaders at the time, I felt were at a position where they could have said, "Hey, this is wrong. Let's not do this." They could have prevented the whole thing, or they could have influenced the situation to pull us out. But they didn't speak out, and so I said to myself, if I'm ever in that position, I'm actually going to speak out. And watching the way that the 12-day war was foisted upon us, watching the Israeli influence after that shocked me. I had been skeptical of the Israelis before, but I had never seen it at that level before, so that shocked me, and I felt like the American people needed to know it. But also, look, I just...
This is so frustrating.
The body bags started coming in from Dover. I've been to Dover, that's where I received my late wife. She was
So frustrating.
in Syria. I just said to myself, I can't do this. I like the job that I have. I'm honored to have it. I'm honored to serve. But I've got to leave. I've got to start calling this out, and I've got to speak out and do everything that I can to have us reverse it. I don't know if it's been effective. I pray that it has been, but morally, I personally just couldn't stay in the administration any longer, and I felt that I could have a bigger impact speaking out publicly, just to hopefully make President Trump aware from the outside of what was taking place and the results that was having on this war that potentially could be catastrophic, or like we said, potentially it could be a game changer and it could chart a new course for our country.
Maybe just one more question on that. Was there anything specific that made you realize how much influence they have? Anything you saw, you heard? Not sure if you can share or you've shared it already.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting at the beginning of the administration. I mean, obviously there was people who came to President Trump and said, now
Female.
it's time to take out the Iranian regime, etc. And he just wasn't interested. And that's why you saw really aggressive negotiations from Steve Witkoff. There's a couple clips that have been online recently of Steve Witkoff talking about how he was in the process of working on a deal for what level of enrichment the Iranians could have. But then in short order, by the summertime, watching the way that the Israelis, their senior officials came in, it was echoed on the media, just watching them basically say, no, that's not the president's red line. The president's red line is zero enrichment. That shocked me. And so seeing that take place, and that's why I knew going into 12.
All right, I'm going to pick up all the drinking zones around this water.
Until they get us bought into this regime change. So it was probably over the course of a couple months.
And we'll move location.
Really even circumvent the intelligence community that was saying, hey, what the Israelis are saying isn't actually happening. Seeing that level of influence was pretty shocking.
You're facing a lot of
For the wolves.
Not only the things we see online, behind the scenes, a lot of pressure happening.
I'm here and there, but overall, I've been surprised and really grateful for the amount of support I've gotten from people. I think I've said things that a lot of people knew. I think it was groundbreaking, maybe in a sense that no one who's ever been Senate confirmed and part of the president's team has come out and said these things. But I'm saying things that a lot of folks have seen and felt as well. So I've gotten a lot of good positive feedback, and I'm sure there'll be some more pressure that will come here.
Yeah, people like Tucker are just dismantling Israeli influence in the US. It's insane. It's just beautiful to watch the way he does it. But look, man, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for coming on the show. Continue being vocal. Hopefully we'll see things change in the region. But I appreciate it. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Joe. It's one I've been wanting to have for a while. And it's a narrative that has been gaining a lot of traction right now.
All right.
Over Trump's decision makings, and we've talked about a lot on the show. So we've got 3 more guests that are joining in our daily marathon. So we've got Professor Radhika Desai, who'll be joining us now. A lot of you might know her. This is her first time on the show. She's a professor at a university. She's also a director of the Geopolitical Economy Research Group. So we're going to have that discussion. It should be up in a minute or 2 max. And then we have Dimitri Laskaris. He's actually in Lebanon. Lebanon is the main discussion right now. Is going to happen with Hezbollah. So as many of you may know, Trump, and we're just talking about it with Joe, Trump was pretty vocal about Israel no longer attacking Lebanon. And that's something that you don't see very often. And that might lead to a lot of change in Lebanon. He said in one of his posts earlier today, Trump said Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited, with capital letters, prohibited from doing so by the USA. Enough is enough. And that's a very significant statement for the President of the United States to make against Israel. Something you don't see often. And as Joe said, we do need to see action follow these words. We've seen many times where the President does take a pretty strong position from an optics perspective against Israel, but actions don't follow through. So that happened, and I'm sure I'll see if there's any updates on Lebanon. But we also do know that in Lebanon there's a ceasefire right now happening for 10 days, and but the ceasefire is not perfect. So Israel still has about in Lebanon about 8 kilometers in. They're still blowing up certain infrastructure in the region. But I think what happens in Lebanon, and Trump again has been very vocal about making Lebanon great again. There's been reports about the US helping. Right there, and the report just came in now. An informed just came in now. According to Tasnim news agency, an informed source said that if the ceasefire in Lebanon had not happened, then Iran intended to attack Israel last night. That's a very significant statement. So we've got a report now that Iran. So I've said this in the show a few times. Iran is the one calling the shots right now. So I'm getting more updates on this. Iran was prepared to launch a large-scale ballistic missile attack on Israel yesterday at 8 p.m. local time, if a ceasefire in Lebanon was not announced. All necessary preparations had already been completed, including placing missile launchers in operational status until Trump's announcement of the ceasefire eventually came. So Trump is taking credit for the ceasefire. I'm seeing there's more updates on this.
Right. See.
So Trump is taking
Female.
credit for the ceasefire, but it seems Iran is the reason there's a ceasefire in Lebanon. And I said that Iran is the reason Lebanon's at war right now, because they're the ones that asked Hezbollah to join, or forced Hezbollah to join in this war. But Iran now is delivering on the promise by supporting or sticking by Hezbollah's side because they can. They understand the leverage they have, and they're using that leverage, and that means, in the short term at least, really good news for Lebanon, because they are forcing a ceasefire, and they might also use that leverage to force Israel to pull out of Lebanese territory. Now, the reason that could be bad news, I'll talk to Dimitri about it. He's in Lebanon right now. He knows Hezbollah really closely. We disagree a lot with Hezbollah. The reason that could be bad news for Lebanon is because Hezbollah won't be disarmed anytime soon. And I don't think Lebanon would succeed as a country as long as they have a state within a state, another military other than the Lebanese forces. That's why I've always advocated for Hezbollah to join the Lebanese forces, the Lebanese army, and to continue being a deterrent against Israel. So, but we are seeing the beginning, an indicator of the beginning of the shift of power from Israel to Iran, and that could end up bringing peace to the region, because now there's a deterrent against Israeli aggression. We just need to ensure there's no Hezbollah aggression against Israel, because Israel is still disputed territory, the Shebaa Farms, and I just don't want that to trigger the next war with Lebanon and destroy the country. But if we do see that shift of power and realignment in the region, which involves the Gulf, then we may see a change of strategy for Iran when it comes to their proxies and a less aggressive foreign policy. Proxy foreign policy against Israel. So that's a very important development. Trump did say he'll make Lebanon great again. There's a report that he may help. The US may help disarm Hezbollah. But this is a very important development. Now, the Strait of Hormuz, the updates there, I'll read out some of the posts by Trump. Actually, I'm going to read out the full post by Trump actually about Lebanon. He says the US will get all nuclear dust and enriched uranium created by B2W. So they'll get all the enriched uranium with no money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. So what Trump is saying is that the enriched uranium, and this is him just proving this, it doesn't mean this is what the deal will look like, but the enriched uranium from Iran will be given to the US according to what Trump is saying, and the US will not give any money to Iran. Now, does that mean no lifting of sanctions, no unfreezing of money? Highly unlikely. Iran has to get something in return. The ability to get the ceasefire happening in Lebanon, when Netanyahu said the war in Lebanon is going to continue, gives you an idea of how much leverage Iran has and that they're using that leverage. And then Trump says the following: this deal is in no way subject to Lebanon. Is to Lebanon, but the USA will separately work with Lebanon to deal with the Hezbollah situation. In an appropriate manner, he's actually said it himself. The US will help Lebanon deal with Hezbollah. There's been a lot of big movement in Lebanon about the Saudi Hezbollah. This is what me and Joe have been talking about. I highly recommend you're going to see those on your open about the post I did a few days ago on how Trump could turn what I consider a strategic loss for the US into a win for the US. Me and Joe were just talking about that. But that involves a deal similar to what the Oman deal was, the nuclear deal with the Oman negotiation for the war. That includes a realignment in the region and the US changing the way they approach Iran. That is doing business with Iran and not seeing Iran as an enemy, because that's what Israel would like to see. That's bad news for Israel. Could be good news for the Gulf. I don't know what they do and how it looks like. But great news for the US and Iran. The US will have at least a bit more influence over the Strait of Hormuz, because it's Iran that dictates what happens there. And Iran, the US would open up global economy for Iran. So Iran would win, would be the biggest winner out of this, but the US would be close second. Now, we also have to see what happens with the Gulf. Joe, his insight into this. It's very interesting because he said that the Gulf is really, what a lot of you have been saying as well in the comments, the Gulf is really pissed off at being dragged into this war.
Ah!
Now, they could do one or two things.
You can hear me scrolling. How much do you think?
A coalition to deter Iran, counter the Iranian threat.
I'm falling asleep.
Threat. Or reevaluate their relationship with Iran. Decide to do more business with Iran, accept Iran as a neighboring superpower, and accept Iran's control.
Nothing here.
Or influence and control over the Strait of Hormuz. I think that's more likely to see. There's an alignment right now, a shift.
Nothing here.
Israel or Iran aligning with Iran. Or aligning with what has been one.
Maybe I should continue.
And I think the likelihood of them.
I need to continue.
It makes less sense now to align with Israel, which is not really a threat to the Gulf, than aligning with Iran. It makes a lot more sense to align with Iran, because Iran's a direct threat to UAE, to Kuwait, to Bahrain, to Qatar, to even Saudi. So it makes some sense.
We have to follow up here.
To align to Iran, I think we will see that. We've got the professor joining us now. Yeah, I'm just going to yeah, Professor joining us right now. I'm just messaging the team in the background. So we're going to see that shift in the region. If I had to guess, I would say they're more likely to align with Iran. It just makes more strategic sense from a geopolitical perspective. So we've got a discussion with Dimitri. I'll be discussing those points before the professor joins. We'll comment on it in a second. We had Malcolm Nance coming out after to talk about what's looking like a possible deal in the next 48 hours. My position is, I've been very optimistic for a while. You guys love to criticize my optimism. My optimism for the last 3 weeks has been materializing, and we are seeing an indication of the realignment. I won't get ahead of myself. We'll see what. And we'd love to have Professor Pate or a lot of you on the show again.
Find me a nice footprint.
Professor Pate talked about the military build-up in the region, and he said that the US has Trump has no alternative than to continue the war because he did not achieve his objective. The objective is to control the Strait of Hormuz. The objective has not been achieved. Trying to get where the guest is. The objective has not been achieved, and the only way for Trump to achieve it is to get bogged down again. And this is all a facade. Trump's already made up his mind to control the Strait of Hormuz militarily, some sort of ground operation to the islands there to have more control of the straits. That is the only alternative right now, the only scenario in Professor Pape's mind. So we'll see whether that materializes. The reason I think that's an idea, my point, because but guys, it just makes no sense. Unless you want to, you're in the belief that Trump is a complete idiot who's lost his mind. Again, that's a very lazy way. I don't care where your position is. It's a very lazy way of looking at politics. Whether it's such a leaders even of destruction of Trump has lost his mind.
6 year,
Netanyahu's the devil. All he wants to do is greater Israel.
almost 50%. This one has to come down so we can respawn a new healthy one. Perfect shot.
He's tried it. It was catastrophic in so many ways.
They're not supposed to run so far. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where on earth? He dropped. He dropped.
There we go. Professor, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Was you speaking?
No, I need the turkey collar.
The developments today. It's a really interesting conversation because Joe is in a similar position as me, where he's very optimistic that we could see a deal. That's what he. That's more like the scenario. Professor Pape yesterday, among other guests, the Colonel was somewhere in the middle, McGregor, but Professor Pape thinks that a ground operation is inevitable because Trump has not achieved his objectives.
Left long. Now wolves, you can risk shooting between everything here. He will not die.
I think that when you say the developments we are seeing today, the latest thing I saw is that Trump has declared that Iran is going to. Iran has declared it's open to Strait of Hormuz. Although we don't know this, we report to the Guardian what the reality is. I mean, my own surmise is that is an operator.
So windy.
He knows that, but at the same time, he got into this because he
so windy.
Some he can convict
8 meters per second.
Somebody who has done something big and then goes to war because his numbers have been tanking for a long time. This is why, and this was already clear by the end of last year, so that when this new year began, we were sort of, greeted with this flurry of international aggression initiatives, whether it is Venezuela, the kidnapping there, and then you've got, those who French like Denmark, and then the lecturing to the European Union, and all the flurry of activity around another week to solve the Ukraine conflict, and now the Iran
Who are you?
Except that in the case
Frozen.
of Iran, he's bitten off way more than he mentioned. He went in much deeper than he did anywhere else, partly, of course, enticed by that.
They said there was a patch for frozen animals.
Again, the order is threatened, and the good people of Iran rise up.
That was yesterday. So if you shoot all the frozen one, then eventually this should be okay.
With Trump sinking deeper into the, I've called it elsewhere, the mother of all.
So, but you think he's in a quagmire right now?
Yes.
Why? Because he seems to be getting out of it.
Well, I think that first of all, with Trump, you never know. You have to wait for proper verification as to what you are saying. I mean, he said he was blockading, except not for shipment.
Yeah.
It's for getting through. So what he needs is to give people to understand that he is this great, big, powerful person and the president of the United States. But in reality, the United States
And I have to
military's
check over
ability
here before. No, we'll shoot this one first.
to do anything very much is not great. And by the way, I forget who you said was saying
So, if I shoot him in the center, I will shoot between the intestine and the lungs. If I shoot him here,
Oh, Robert Page, I don't know him, but
I won't hit the
I
lungs
personally don't think. Obviously, look, I mean,
or the intestine.
I'm not privy to the thinking of
So I have to be a little bit
either the Trump
front
White
here.
House or the Pentagon. But in
I
my view, I
guess
think
this
that
will be the heart.
any kind
Not heart.
of ground operation, other than taking an island or two, but even that will be quite difficult.
Why don't you drop down?
Because I think that the United States and
What?
the Trump administration is simply not.
And when they stand in the water, there is no blood.
They cannot face
No blood
the
to track.
fatality.
Let's see if the dog can find him.
That they would have to accept, and they would have to accept a lot of it.
I bet he can't find.
As people know, I mean, for Iran has won if it survives. The Trump administration.
I'll be surprised if he can track.
So
Can't.
far, it has won nothing.
But dogs are supposed to be tracking even if there's blood in the water.
So what? Look,
I think
a lot of it depends on what happens next in these negotiations. And there's some interesting developments today, other than Trump's words.
new zone. He cannot find the blood trail of this one.
It's really hard to know what they mean. Like for example.
And why did you not drop?
For example, when he was talking about the destruction of I saw it as him trying to off-ramp. It turned out to be the
Okay, let's try again.
case. But a lot, when he was talking about the negotiations going well before the war,
If we can spot the dead animal.
was either going to be delayed or maybe there's a way around it. There's a deal. It turns out to be just a facade.
Yes, my friend.
Which is already made up.
Got a task for you.
So it's really hard to determine what he means by his words. Actions, on the other hand, is a better indicator. On one side, there is a military build-up. Is it for a ground operation? Like Professor Page has been very vocal about this, but he's also been studying wargaming Iran for 20 years and advised.
He cannot find it.
Well. And for him to tell me that the ground operation is imminent.
He cannot find my wolf. Okay. New zone. No.
We're in the escalation track. So it's called the quagmire. So it agrees with the quagmire.
Sell. Now I want to check this one. This guy over here. I was planning to go over there first.
On where this is heading.
But since it's almost 400 meters, I feel like I'm safe to shoot that one.
And force them into a ceasefire. Now,
without spooking anyone over here.
Iran is saying that there's a report according to Tasnim that the reason they ceasefires Iran was about to strike Israel.
This one was 7 or 8 years. He had a 75% fitness.
That's what forced Trump to force Israel to
So
accept the
let's see.
to implement a ceasefire. But if you put that there and you put Trump's words about he'll help, so he said.
Let's see if we can spot him again.
There is no way, or we will not allow.
I'll go over and figure out what zone it was. At least should be able to pick up the zone.
They are prohibited from doing so by the USA in terms of Israel bombing Lebanon. If you put that along with the fact he said he'll help Lebanese government with the Hezbollah situation, really close to disarm Hezbollah.
Nowhere to be found. Was that a wolf? No.
Iran's removed their blockade, this action, and Trump talking about a deal.
Nowhere to be found.
Within the next 48 hours. If you put all these together as action, could we be seeing?
I need to. Those are wolves. Female.
Not a toggle, just a complete pivot.
Male 31.
In his approach to the region, and what me and Joe were talking about is maybe Trump is so upset about for Israel's ability to trick him into this war that now he's lashing out.
Now I suppose he's old enough that I can use the mature call. That would be high fitness.
Well, okay, so first of all, let me say that.
So down here, you see the collar. Moose collar has 3 functions. For female, any fitness, high fitness, mature, and low fitness. Low fitness is for both old and mature. So this one is like 10 years, 8, 10 is it's not really mature, but anyway, I have to pick up what zone it is, so I'll know when to go back here.
So in reality, I think what we have to understand is that this war is rooted. I mean,
There's a zone over there.
Do not deny that every American president, going back to the past half dozen and more,
Shall we kick out a call? What zone is here? Moose resting, I guess. That's what I'm guessing. Where are you, my friend? Where are you?
Very sharp mind about these things.
I feel like plucking him, but
Being realistic about this, combined with Netanyahu's
I'm not sure about
ability
it.
to beguile Trump into thinking that he could get an easy victory. So
not surprised if I spook him.
that's the first thing I want to say is how do you
Those
enjoy
were the wolves.
The second thing
Moose
is, if
drinking.
Trump's going around saying that I've ordered Israel to do X,
Moose
Y,
drinking.
going by his past behavior, I would almost
So
guarantee you that Israel is threatening to do
this is from 9 to 11, 9 to 1 o'clock.
his compulsion to appear as though he's in the driving seat and not
No, from 9 to 1 o'clock often, and from 22 to midnight.
I think that's how I would read Trump. That's Trump all the way, basically. I mean,
So
it's really, I mean, you really, when you think
now
about
it
you
is
have to think about just
almost
how
5.
many
So
things
let's see
go wrong.
which one of them is.
Relatively prosperous,
Is it this one?
economy like the
Yeah.
United States, for somebody like Trump to get elected, and not just get elected,
That means he's over here now, and from there he will probably move over here
crisis out of which crisis of American
to that
economy,
location,
society,
feeding,
politics, culture,
and he has
out of
resting
which
over
this
here
war
also.
has sprung. It is
So
the
that will
internal
be
crisis of the United States which is being visited upon the rest of the world,
our
because the
check.
United States has
Where we
again
will go and
another
check
fatal
it.
combination.
So where did you go,
Fairly
my
expensive
friends?
military, not
I hear
necessarily a
you
good military, but a fairly
howling. You are over
expensive
here.
military,
Okay.
combined with a heck of a lot of hubris that goes with it.
Can you expand on
Yeah.
that? Why do you think that all led to the election of Trump? Because Trump was elected as a president that challenges the status quo, that challenges the lawfare we're seeing on the left, that challenges the swamp, the establishment, but
Let's see.
also challenges the things that we all, he said he'll work on America's debt.
Can pick him up.
That he's doing the complete opposite. I criticized his actions there.
He's working on it, all right.
All right.
But yeah, he's not
Who
doing
are
well
you?
there. He's criticized
Are you a
forever wars. Obviously, Iran was
female?
looking like a possible forever war, but he pulled out. If you compare to Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, even Kosovo, it's a very short war. It's
Can't
a
see you.
40-day war, and one
Can't see
he's
you.
pulling out of, and he's now doing a deal with Iran, talking about
Now this is a
that they
time
get along
waster.
very well. He's doing complete U-turn. I want to give him credit, and that's someone I get a lot of slack for criticizing.
If I move, if I circle around, he will spot me and run away.
He shifts when reality shifts. The war failed, and I don't want to defend Trump. I'm trying to look at this objectively. The war failed, and he's doing a U-turn. He's not doubling down on the war. He's not calling the Iranian regime horrible. He's not talking about wiping out
Alerted.
civilization.
He's alerted.
What do you mean? He calls them
that's
a regime that has
He's
been
been
killing
alerted.
Americans for 47 years. He calls them crazy bastards. He calls them all sorts of things.
He said yes. It depends on what's happening.
If I could see him.
True, but it depends what's happening. Yesterday he said they get along very well.
Listen, he does
That's
that
the beginning of a shift.
I mean, one day he gets on very well with Zelensky. The next day he is chastising him. One day he gets well with Putin. The next day he says, "Oh, Putin's being very difficult." Same with President Xi.
He's facing my direction. Or facing away.
And remember what happened. Oh my God! Remember the last Trump administration, and he and Kim Jong-un. One day they were calling each other dotard and what was it, Rocket Man, and the next day they were writing love letters. I mean, that is what.
That was a bad shot.
You know,
What?
if he smiles at you
He
now,
dropped.
then you forget the punch he gave you yesterday.
Lucky me. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.
Oh, that's great. I'm enjoying this discussion.
I hit him in the head, so the trophy is spoiled.
He uses rhetoric. He doesn't have ideologies. He's like,
Now we are going to check how much experience we will get.
And his legacy first. America and his legacy.
First we will look at how much we have.
But at his age it's a bit hard not
Yeah.
But it's about his legacy in America. And if
540.
If he's being nice to Europe, he's gonna be nice. But if he's got a problem with someone,
540.
business with them, if he called them the devil, he'll go back and say, "Hey, we actually got along
Son of a gun.
well." And his supporters.
I thought I was front on. Pure luck.
Nice trident you got there.
This is a good shot. Should be like 130 for experience. So 540 gives us 670 around.
When he wanted to destroy him, Iran was horrible, evil.
Oh, only
a
50.
horrible civilization. I was one of the few when he put his crazy tweets, his crazy posts
Never
about
mind.
wiping out a civilization and stuff.
We'll take it.
For me, I was very critical when the war started.
So now we are going up here.
Yeah, like guys, let's ease up. That's probably him wanting to walk away. Otherwise, he wouldn't say these things. I just
We'll
don't
pick
take his
up the
words that
zone.
seriously.
Okay.
I thought there was one is over there.
That I feel really
There's one zone here somewhere.
180
Fuck.
degrees opposite to one another.
Yeah.
You said that he does what is best for the country. I could not disagree with you more. This guy, so, and that it connects up
Turkey.
with what you were asking. You know, could I expand on what I mean by the fact that
There's one
this
zone
war
here.
is a result
Wolves.
of the profound crisis of U.S. society? What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that basically
Moose drinking. Oh, I love these ones. They are pure gold.
between 45 and 50 years. The U.S. has been administered by
Drinking zones are always the gold zones in these hunting simulator games. They are true gold zones.
But in reality, they are policies.
You always find an animal at a drinking zone, almost always.
Tiny corporate elite, and in opposition to practically everybody else, and that even includes small business.
So,
okay. So this is the kind of policy that has been pursued day in and day out for nearly 50 years.
time
When it
is
fails to, when it creates recession.
it's not our enemy when we are dealing with moose. They become very old.
It
So
creates unemployment. It creates regular financial crises. Despite all of this, American government sticks.
even if you play, like, say, 6 sessions for one day, moose will only age 2 years, and that's basically nothing.
However, money can't do everything. What
You want them to be like 12, 14 years old before you harvest them.
Last decade is that it became
When they are mature and have a very good fitness of 80 or over.
No longer win elections by telling everybody that things
At that time, he should have had some big horns or antlers.
Everybody's doing fine, blah blah. No. The only way to win elections now was to tell people that everything was going pear-shaped and that Trump was going to come and fix it. He understood that. So he promised
I know he's here somewhere.
He knew they wanted. They wanted jobs, they wanted good manufacturing jobs, they wanted no wars, they wanted low inflation, they wanted low debt. He promised the whole world, he promised the moon. Of course, he had no intention of delivering the moon because at the end of the day, what is Trump? Trump is a wannabe member of the same corporate capitalist class.
17,
that,
okay.
That
he's supposed to be here. He could be down here also.
He has basically done
he could be here also. I don't know, but it's or here.
Now, the reason why, and remember also, this crisis is so profound that, first of all,
what do we do? We'll give it a call.
As an outsider, because the establishment Republican and Democratic parties
high fitness mature.
So he posed as an outsider, got elected. And anyway, and so the point I'm trying to make is that already was a symptom of crisis. Sorry, one final sentence.
Yeah, of course.
Already by the time of his first election, we were talking about civil war in the United States. Okay, I'll continue.
Of course. Yeah, so I've taken a lot of notes. It's going to be... So,
yeah.
The thing, I criticize a lot of Trump's decisions. I think the way he's approaching NATO is not right. I think NATO is an organization... Maybe it doesn't really need to exist anymore because the Russian threat is gone, but it should be repurposed rather than dismantled. I think what Trump is doing to international law, the system that was created after World War II to allow for the world to prosper as it has, it's not perfect, far from perfect, but it's a system that made the world more peaceful than it has ever been, even though it doesn't look that peaceful. So I think it's wrong to really, the US should be the protector of that
but it's not here.
National system that's been created, should improve it, polish it, but not destroy it, and then give the opportunity for China to pretend to be the protector of that system, the defender of that system.
Come back on that too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think he's here.
And that you made a few points about he promised people everything he thought they wanted. He promised the moon, but so I think every politician does that.
I doubt if he's
then
here.
He made a statement. So this is politics, unfortunately. He's hate the.
Doubt it if he's here anyway.
Then he said but he ended up being a member of the same corporate class and making the decisions. True and not true. I think some of the decisions, like the Iran war, proved that the establishment still has a lot of influence, even on Trump. But at the same time,
could be behind here somewhere, possible, but
Greenland, they didn't want him to have that fight with Europe. They didn't want him to try to improve relations with.
Yeah. YouTube quality is really
Russia and try to end the war in Ukraine. So I think there's also a lot of decisions.
It's not so good when
wouldn't like to be seen. So I feel like Trump is.
People come back from work, everyone logs on, and
I didn't vote for him, and so I'm not
quality drops significantly.
People that voted for him would have liked to see, and people from the outside that were looking for change wanted to see. He didn't deliver on things that maybe Tucker and others wanted for him to achieve on, but he also is making moves in places that we didn't see Biden and others make those moves. Russia being one.
Could be down there, possible. I doubt it.
I think we should not pass judgment, and I've said this for a while, we should not
I doubt it.
On this, what I consider begun as a mistake, until it
Who's screaming?
at the end. That's where I stand on the Iran war.
Okay, so first of all, where are you from if you're not American?
Australia.
Okay. All right.
So we depend on the US. We depend on the American system. If the US fails, we're screwed.
Well, yes and no. I think that as somebody said,
Australia, USA, they performed a coup against Australia in 1970 sometimes.
Maybe a bad thing to be.
Sometimes in the 70s.
The United States is even worse to be an ally.
Australia wanted to do their own thing,
As people in Canada, the UK,
and they forced
Australia and elsewhere
the leader out
maybe
of
not
the
Australia
house.
so much,
He had
but
to
Australia's
resign.
turn may yet come. Who knows? Maybe it'll get lucky. But that's not the point. The point, let me get to a couple of really interesting
And
points here. Everybody
it's widely
thinks
recognized
that
as
the
a
United
coup
States
d'etat,
created the post-war world order.
a soft
No.
coup d'etat.
The United States had to compromise a lot in order to get something like a world order. Why did
So let me
what
see.
they would have loved to create is essentially an
What's down here?
international structure
Nothing.
which would essentially be a world government but under their control.
Wolves
But they couldn't
frozen.
get it. The reason they couldn't get it is because
Frozen
of the
wolves,
existence
female.
of the Soviet Union and soon to
Female.
be China. And the role that Soviet and Chinese communist forces played in defeating Hitler. As a consequence, and a plus, of course, there was the wave of nationalist movements that were also rising. And the
Now you can see
so the United Nations had
the
to be created on the
graphics
basis
is
of
like
sovereign equality. It had to be created on the basis of
it's
you know,
not so
non-aggression,
perfect. Yeah,
respect
that's
for
because my
sovereignty,
graphic
blah,
is
blah,
on the
etc. All
lowest
these
level.
principles that make the UN
My
a
computer
valuable
cannot
thing, and
run
all
this game
those
at the
principles
highest
exist
level of graphics. It cannot.
because of these challenges for the imperial
My
powers of which
graphic
the
card
United
cannot
States
handle
ended
it.
up become leader.
So I
And
have to set it on
the
lowest level,
compromise that had to
and
be
then
made,
it
which is
is
the creation of
running
the permanent
perfectly.
5 members in the Security Council. They
And
had to include
I can't
both
complain
the
about the
Soviet
graphics.
Union and China in
This
it. And they,
is
of course, kept
just
up the
crazy
pretense
good looking
of
graphics,
giving China a seat
even at the lowest setting.
for a very long time to tiny little Taiwan, but that pretense could not be kept up for a long time. So
So
that's
my
one thing.
friend,
Secondly,
are you
as a
around here
consequence,
somewhere?
the United States actually created NATO. NATO is usually opposed to the Warsaw Pact, but the Warsaw Pact was
Want to
created
go
many
around
years
here?
after NATO. NATO was created in order to create a separate forum, which would be kind of, you know, influential in the world.
It was created to
in which
contain
the imperial
communism.
powers did not have to consort with the unwashed masses of the world, but the unwashed masses of the world had arrived on the world stage and they were not going to go anywhere. So you know, they created NATO, and the United States has always claimed an exceptionalism. And exceptionalism
Alright, let me
has
see. Who are you? Who are
ever
you
more
guys?
obvious as you
962.
and people question its
These are good
do so.
guys.
So anyway, the UN system has never been created by the US.
Yeah.
The United States has never wanted to be bound by it. The only thing that is obvious now
I have to calm down here.
is that the United States' efforts to try
I want to take down this one.
it seem more outlandish and are more unsuccessful.
Yes, I hear you.
Than ever before.
This was
so that's
nice.
The first one. Secondly,
Now this is herd management. You see the antlers? Perfectly beautiful. Oh my God, you're crazy looking dudes.
Because if every politician does that, then somehow they
this one is antlers. They are not so beautiful.
Would not have been successfully challenged.
Possibly I should take down this one
who
first.
Did manage to win in 2016 and again in 20. So when did he win first?
Don't move. I was too far behind.
2024.
Not a good shot, but
and that difference was that he said
it dropped.
This economy stinks.
It dropped.
Very wrong. And remember, the Biden administration were constantly
my friend, yeah, but come here.
Understand how well our economy is doing. I mean, this rhetoric, this was actually frequently reported
I think
in the last
we'll
election campaign.
Yeah.
So that's the second point. So there is something qualitatively different about Trump. The MAGA thing.
Why is it not marking?
You know, every establishment politician was constantly reveling in how well the American economy is doing and how powerful the United States is. And Trump ran on Make America Great Again, which means it is no longer great. It has to be made great again. And then finally, the establishment in Trump. Now, there's
Obama was all about change. Obama was all about change as well.
Well,
They have to
remember,
change
What the
when it's
fuck
about
is going on
change
here?
Sure,
and hope.
and you're right. He was about change, but he was not a anti-establishment.
My marks are
He came
dropping
from
right
within the
here.
establishment. He had to say change because remember that election campaign took place in the shadow of the 2008 financial crisis. Indeed, I would have said if it hadn't been
My friend
the
is over here.
2008 financial crisis, he likely would not have been elected. Why do I say that? Because there is evidence to show that a whole lot of people who just the previous summer before the crisis had hit were saying, oh, I'd never vote for him, he's a black guy. These white working class people who were quite happy
I can drop both of them.
to be quite racist in front of everybody, to the media and so on, finally figured out that if there was somebody who would do something.
Yeah, why you have to go behind there?
I'm saying there's always a scenario.
All right. Can you turn around? Thank you.
But there's always something. I was going to say there's many examples. You know, I think you're in India, neighboring Pakistan, which I've covered very closely. Imran Khan came in with a very similar concept. You know, the Pakistani people were not.
I'll be so excited if I can have this one also. That would be so nice.
You've got a lot of countries are like make XYZ great again. It's called MEGA. Make. I think I don't know if that happens in India, but I know make MEGA was. Which country?
But I can't mark their location.
The whole concept of make X great again.
All the marks they are falling right here.
Works. I still think it's a political strategy. I know it's digressing away from the line. It's a political strategy.
So it's over here somewhere. The other one.
Does make many promises that they have no intention of keeping. What I'm saying is that okay. Maybe in fact let me go back to this. So Trump
1 meter.
He was going to make America great again, etc. And it was a much more radical break in the case of the United States because the idea was.
All right. So we are going to make a note for the developers.
It's not Bangladesh or Pakistan or what have you. It's the United States. They always believe that they are the greatest country on earth, etc. So what could possibly be wrong? And the whole of the two parties of the political system is far firmer than anything in Pakistan has had military flip-flop between military and civilian governments all the time. So I don't think that those are good comparisons. So and let me also say that you see the fact is that the crisis that I'm speaking about comes particularly for the Trump presidency comes from the fact that what he's promised requires him to go this way.
Yeah.
What Trump needs to do for the ruling class requires him to go this way. So there is this big gap opening up.
Yeah.
And most politicians try to keep, they're always riding two horses.
Jesus Christ.
What we may call the accumulation, or what they have to do for the ruling class, and the legitimation, or the minimum they have to do for the ordinary people to get elected. So they try to keep those two horses together and somehow ride those two horses. In Trump's case, they're going so far apart that Trump has basically jumped onto the accumulation one, that is to say the one that is about serving elite interests. He's forgotten about ordinary people, and so he's losing his MAGA base. He's losing support. The Republican Party.
He's losing his MAGA base. He's losing his MAGA base mainly because of Israel. It's make Israel again. Make Israel first versus America first.
He's losing them because of affordability crisis, the housing crisis.
Let's go here.
That's been happening. That's been happening for many years. I think. But we know, Professor. You know, no president can shift that very quickly. Like, it's impossible.
Yes.
I made that joke before. Every president is cleaning up the mess of two administrations before. And, the kind of joke is like whenever. So Trump's mess right now is going to be a mess for the next administration, the one after. Every president.
Look, these people. I mean, in that sense, you see. Okay. Let me just because you haven't let me finish several of my points, so now I'm going to have to return to some of them. But okay, so as I said, Trump promised these people. I mean, by the time Trump got elected, the distance between what people needed, the elite needed, was already great. He promised the people everything to get elected, but then in office he had done what the elite wanted. As far as the establishment is concerned, you know what happened? On the one hand, initially Trump got elected on the strength of the support, the financial support of the more maverick capitalists of the United States. But between the time he got elected and the time he had his inauguration, practically all the other more establishment capitalist class, the corporate capitalist class, were all present in their numbers, presence, registering their presence as if at school, and so on. So the point is that they all have lined up behind Trump because they are not sure that they, certainly they weren't then, and they are still not sure that they can rely on the Democrats anymore. So they have lined up with Trump. Now, however, even Trump is losing support. Meanwhile, the Democrats, if there is any spark left in them, they are going further left. So I think the American capitalist class will be in a quandary as to what to do at this point. Who will be the political agent that will win the elections and do their bidding the next time? I think this is an open question. So this is because we were discussing the establishment and the Trump administration and Trump himself. So that is his relationship with the establishment. He's always wanted to be part of the establishment. Getting elected president has been his way in. That was obviously there. I wrote this in a column I wrote soon after his first inauguration.
Professor, let's just look at, again, Ukraine war, he's trying to end it. If you want to look at the establishment, is a very broad term, but the military-industrial complex would love that war. It's money more than the Iran war, any other war, and the Ukraine war. The Iran war was actually very lucrative. The Iran war, the establishment, again, if you look at the pro-Israeli lobby, for example, military-industrial complex, they did not want the war to end in 40 days. They would like to see the war go on for 6 months and troops on the ground. That's what they would like. That's where they would make a lot of money. He ended the war in 40 days. The pro-Israeli establishment, I know that's not the only establishment, but that's part of it, a big part of it. The pro-Israeli lobby and donors would not like to see a strong Iran. Well, Trump is doing business with Iran, potentially. He's talking about getting a percentage of the toll booth, which shows openness to do business with Iran. He's called the Strait of Hormuz the Strait of Iran, did not delete it. He kept the post there. I don't know if you can edit post and tweet social, I don't think you can. But he kept the post there, calling it Strait of Iran. He's forced Israel into a ceasefire. And he's moving away from Iran. He's kind of said, look, I did a mistake there. I'm going to walk away. And he's now walking away from NATO as well.
What? Let's go.
No, he doesn't say that. He would never, Trump would never.
Did it work?
That is definitely not a characteristic of his.
Title.
For the good of the world, let me say, but for the good of the world, he should admit, if he were really trying to do what he said is what's good for the United States, because I tell you,
did I have something else?
Words versus actions, Professor.
What was it? That he ended the war in 40 days. I don't think it. We are just living through a relatively quiet peace period. The war against Iran has not ended. There could easily be, you yourself were talking about ground operations being initiated now.
Of course. So look, if the war doesn't end, I'd probably be on your side of the argument and arguing against Trump even more than you are, because I find that appalling. So I'm just looking at the actions that are happening right now, because there's others like yourself and the professor I mentioned earlier, and others as well that believe there's a likelihood that it won't end. But I usually look at the indicators I look at are usually the markets. For me, the markets are probably the best indicator. That's the smart money. That's the people that have fear. That's people that have people inside the government that can talk to. So the market's telling us the war is ending. So that's the one I'm going to use as an indicator.
I should do it.
Oil is down below $85 a barrel, which is insane. I want to just double check that price, because that's a crazy low price. Which indicates, because even if the war ended, oil shouldn't be that low. Because the infrastructure, the system, the logistics, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed, by the way.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to restart everything, so the damage is done. But for the price,
all right, let's go and pick these guys up. Who's this?
Similar to start up again.
Who are you? Oh my God! What the? Wait.
Which means that would reduce the supply constraints that there are.
Yeah. Oh, 83. So beautiful. Oh my God. This must be my dude. Nice. 4 years old only.
He talks about destroying civilization.
All right.
I think that the civilization
was
inappropriate for a president.
Really? Yes. Perfect.
And a lot of people smarter than me disagree with me. Tucker was really upset by that.
Now this is what we would do.
But for me, I care about actions. If he walks away from Iran, does
This
a deal,
is what
and
we
puts
will
American
do.
interests above Israel's, I applaud it.
Come on.
I don't really care what he says.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think, okay, so
How
number
do we
one,
do this?
if you're waiting for him
Like this?
to end this war,
We
I
pick
think
the
we'll be
tree.
waiting for a long time. Remember what he said about Ukraine? He was going to end it the day he was elected.
Right.
Well, we are waiting now,
Perfect.
more than a year later. Or
I
a year
like
and a
that.
half later, maybe. Okay. Number two, markets, smart money. First of all, I would say
How about
that, even if I did
photo mode?
try some
Camera tilt, depth of field.
some notion of markets and what they do, I wouldn't trust this market. This market is hugely a bubble market.
Move camera.
It is
There's no
with
zoom.
multiple bubbles on at the same time, created by the easy monetary policy. And by the way, despite the increases in interest rates, real interest rates are still, given the inflation, still quite low. Driven by easy monetary policy, which means that there is so much darn money sloshing around the system, it has to go somewhere. None of this money is smart. It is dumb and desperate and trying to find
Yes.
a bit of return here and a bit of return there. And you know what? The other thing is that Trump was earlier thoroughly enjoying himself, like a kid who's
Yeah, but this is not a nice picture.
this machine and he can push this button and something spectacular happens, and pushes
So what we will do?
he thought he was
I can't
playing the
mark
market,
this one.
but
I
in
don't
the
know
end,
why.
he realized that he had to make bigger and bigger threats
Oh my
and
god.
give bigger and bigger reassurances in order to
So
have any effect on the market. If the markets think
we're gonna
the
pick up
markets
this dude
essentially
TFS.
crashed,
We couldn't even
it's
mark
just
this
because
one.
they are easily spooked and
Nope.
easily beguiled. These markets are
Okay, we have
definitely not to be
informed the
trusted. The
developers.
money is going to go somewhere. It's going to go.
They have been
That's
informed.
not the issue. That's not what I would trust.
I found my
Oil
moose.
prices. I
I'm
agree
so
with you. I
excited.
think that in the long run, and
Mommy.
because Trump has not stopped this war,
Who's this?
because so much damage has
And
already been
I did a
that
perfect
oil prices will go
herd
higher,
management
and will probably
on
remain high
my
for a long time, simply unless the world suddenly
whitetail or
manages to
whatever. I think
create
it's
a
whitetail.
I don't know, but
fast-paced
the oil price it's at $84.
This should
Professor.
do
The facts are different underground.
for
Oil
a
is down
nice
below $85.
picture. I'm
like
so
it went
excited.
down today or yesterday or something.
That trophy is a
temporary
3.
move.
I think it's a 3.
Let them see the next
But
turn
it is,
in the
we
war.
just look, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
People that are betting billions of dollars on the price
So
of oil,
where
they're
was
the
it?
ones that are closest to
Yeah.
Trump and the Trump administration. We've seen how
Here's
oil
my
price
friend.
reacts before news comes out. Kind of gives you
Yes,
an
my
idea
friend.
that's a different problem that should be investigated.
No,
But it gives you an idea that the smartest
not
people are the
yet.
ones that bet billions on the markets. When I'm talking about markets, I'm talking about commodities, oil price. So that is for me the best indicator.
I wouldn't say
Oh
they're
yeah,
the smartest people.
yeah, I
They
found
do
it.
eventually, end up in financial crisis and losing lots of money. So, and let me also say something else. It's
How's the
quite
trophy?
possible that a lot of the money that
1,
is
2,
driving
3, 4, 5. That's a 5-pointer, I think. So just
oil
let's look.
prices up or down.
1-star
People who have
trophy.
insider information from the Trump administration. This is probably would be par for
This
the
is my
course
point.
for the corrupt ruling classes of the United States.
It's a small one. 500.
That's not the point. Let me tell you
1
why
star.
Trump is not in control of this war.
Okay.
Iran is in more
Okay.
in control of it as to when it will do. So that
I think
they-
Iran
Oh,
seems to be giving him an
woofs.
off ramp though. By the looks of it, they opened the Strait of Hormuz.
Let us
They
see,
literally
as
gave
I
up the
say,
biggest leverage.
Let's go and
no,
pick up
I
this
Now,
one.
of course, I could be
Yes.
completely wrong.
Let us see what
Professor
happened.
Allen.
Then who also
3.
knows
He's 3 years
what is
old.
the story behind it?
So
Why Iran may have done
how many
this.
sessions do I have to go for?
So I want to.
I
I'm
need
actually really delighted that we're speaking today
1.
because I made a post earlier today, and I want you to expand on it because you probably could expand on it better than I. Let me see if I find it.
My friend,
There it is.
where did
The
you
country
go?
to
You are
watch out
here.
for is not China, it is
He
India.
becomes
Nothing bad
18.
there.
So
Watch
if I
out for
take
this
him
event.
up to 13 years, 11 years.
Modi is playing geopolitical chess better than anyone.
3 sessions times 11.
Saying Jai Hindi. The world is watching.
33 sessions.
Fascinating. How
before I can harvest it.
Politics, the decisions he's making, getting sanctioned
It's young.
off
Adult.
by Russian oil. Tell me more. Tell me
It's
more.
adult.
Everyone's like, what is China doing? What is China gonna say? What is China gonna do?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
For many, many years, watching India, I've been to India, and a lot of people from India, I've got a lot of friends there. Tell me more about India, what their play with all this, what is the strategy, what is the India strategy right now, especially when they're between
This
China
one.
and the US. They're in a very interesting position.
Okay, let's say 2 stars. 2 stars.
I do have a few
2
companies.
stars.
One that is that I go to India with one of my business partners
That's
which is wedding in India is IBC. So it's more AI and crypto technologies. Technology.
Okay. And so
this camera mode is really
Twice, not a lot. Twice only, but that was
a pain
back
in the
before my
ass, to
political
be
days.
honest. It's a pain in the ass.
well, you couldn't have
Where?
asked this question about Modi to anyone who opposed him more deeply.
This camera mode
And
is
who
just
has
the worst camera
very
mode
little
ever.
respect for this guy. You think that he's playing this crisis? He has subjected India
Photo mode.
to worse
Where the
punishments, because India right now is going through a huge fuel shortage, rises in
it's
prices
just
of
going crazy now.
petrol and so on. So India
It
is
won't
not
allow
in
me
a
to
good
capture.
shape. Modi is nowhere to be seen. Every time there is a crisis, Modi goes evil. India
I wonder why.
basically, India has lined itself up with the United States.
It will
in
not
general,
allow me to
just
capture
with-
this foot.
with
It just
the
doesn't want.
United States in general, and Israel for that matter. And this is despite the fact that
This is crazy.
India
This
has
is crazy.
good relations with
This
Iran,
is
and
crazy.
now India finds itself on
This is totally crazy, this
the
thing.
other side. And so I really don't think there's anything to praise in what Modi is doing. Modi is not doing anything other than under the guise of talk of multi-alignment.
Completely crazy. It will not allow me to capture.
Claptrap.
But
He's aligning India with the United States and Israel.
he's doing not only that, he's close with Putin.
This is
I understand
completely
he
nuts.
sanctioned Russia when the US pressured him. But the US is
Completely
still the world's
nuts.
biggest economy and military on a GDP per capita basis, and the US is China's a close second. Who went and saw Xi Jinping, and Americans were really angry. Like,
What?
oh, you're doing, you're being friendly to Trump, and then you go see Xi, and then he's now doing business again. As soon as the crisis happened, he's able to buy Russian oil, and he was able to buy Russian oil throughout the entire Biden administration. Biden is like, we need you to buy Russian oil so we can keep the price of oil low. So when I look at these things together, I'm not an expert on Indian politics or Modi as much as you are, but for me, looking at it on the outside and looking where India's position, it has a lot more potential that's untapped, sure. There's a lot of issues within the country, within the system itself has been for decades. It has a way to go, become the next China, but it can be there. But my question is, from a business
Anyhow,
perspective,
2 stars.
hasn't Modi really aligned himself with all 3 countries, with all the 3 other poles?
No, you can't do that. You can't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 points.
The foxes. If you think that's what anybody can do, you've got another thing coming. I think that that's the first thing. Secondly, yes, India benefited from Russian oil, but India also
Price.
agreed to,
Dressing weight
reduce the purchase of
50.
Russian oil under pressures from the
Shot
Trump
degradation 5
at the
kilo.
end of which India got the worst
Anyhow.
tariffs ever. So, you know, where is Modi's closeness to Trump or the US? So
That one is nice. I'm so happy now.
And I think that, you know, the Modi government, like the Trump administration, has a one-point economic policy. Do what the richest interests in the country want, and in the case of India, this amounts to a handful.
Let's go here.
And that's what Modi is doing. The
Must be this
entire
one.
economy, ordinary people, small business people, even medium and sort of intermediate level business people are suffering. Indians are groaning under debt. The economy is not creating jobs. There are riots among young people. Every time there is a state exam, you know, for entry into the civil service or the police service.
All right.
There are riots.
Mission accomplished.
There are so many applicants. So many
Mission
people
accomplished.
who wish to get these very, very small number of positions.
So I'm quitting for now.
Trying to reap a demographic dividend.
Reset stream, okay?
India is not going to reap any demographic dividend. If things continue
Cancel.
as they have gone on under Modi for the last 10, 11 years, we are sitting on a demographic.
All right.
Young people will eventually come to the point where they will get tired of being strung along and being frustrated all the time.
Thank you for watching.
So Modi is definitely the wrong thing. India does not need Modi. India needs to get Modi out. I wish there were the political forces who could talk him out, but as yet, I can't say that the reports are very good.
And now, if we put that in the, we're going back to Iran and what's happening there, and the kind of geopolitical shifts that we're seeing. If Trump does start doing business with Iran, if he does a deal where he lifts the sanctions and he does trade with the country, and a ceasefire in Lebanon holds, would you give him his flowers?
If that happens,